The night hangs heavy like a silken veil, and every sound seems to pause in reverence. You breathe in the darkness, feeling its cool weight settle around your shoulders, cushioning each thought until even they soften and lose their edges. There is no hurry, no tomorrow, demanding your presence, only this quiet expanse where each breath unfolds in perfect stillness. You follow the gentle rhythm of your breath, noticing how it rises and falls like a slumbering tide. In this simple act lies the core of impermanence. Each inhale becomes an exhale, each moment dissolving into the next, never clinging, never resisting. You recall the story of the empty cup. A monk pours tea for his teacher, so eager for wisdom that he forgets to notice when the cup is already full. The teacher smiles and gently reminds him, "First empty your cup." In that lesson lies the truth of no self, that to be truly present, we must let go of all we think we know, making space for what unfolds naturally. As you settle into the quiet, you imagine clouds drifting across an unseen sky, their shapes shifting effortlessly without struggle or planning. You too can drift in this moment, releasing the tight grasp of worry and expectation. The mind may clamor for answers, but here in the gentle darkness, there is nothing to solve, only to observe. A monk once swept autumn leaves from the temple courtyard, pausing now and then to trace their patterns in the dirt. In his solitude, he found that each leaf's journey from branch to ground was a teaching in itself: release, fall, return to the earth. You, like those leaves, carry stories of beginnings and endings, but beneath them is a deeper stillness that remains unchanged. Let your thoughts be like those leaves, acknowledged, seen, then allowed to drift away. As you exhale, feel the tension of the day loosen around your spine, uncoiling like a ribbon in the breeze. With each breath, the world inside you grows quieter, the spaces between thoughts widening into gentle corridors of peace. Notice the soft rise of your chest, the delicate expansion of possibility that each inhale brings. Feel the subtle descent as you release, recognizing that each breath is a reminder nothing is permanent, nothing needs to be held too tightly. What unfolds when you rest in that truth? In this boundless moment, you are both the silent witness and the witnessed, no separation between observer and observed, only the seamless flow of awareness. A single candle flame flickers at the edge of your mind, neither clinging to light nor fearing its extinguishing. You simply watch, finding solace in its dancing glow. Consider the stillness that arises when the breath dissolves into silence. What remains when there is nothing left to hold on to? In that question lies a gentle invitation to rest deeper, to trust that the rhythm of your being knows the way home. And so, you continue your awareness like a calm lake, reflecting the stars, each thought an occasional ripple that fades into stillness. With every breath, you rest more fully in the quiet heart of night, where nothing needs fixing and everything is already whole. The hush deepens and you become aware of the soft echo of your heartbeat, a gentle drum guiding you inward. In each silent beat lies the teaching of interbeing. You are not separate from the breath, the air, or the earth beneath you. The very atoms of this moment are woven together inseparable threads in the vast tapestry of existence. You recall the tale of the monk, And the mirror each morning, the monk would gaze into a polished bronze mirror to see his reflection. One day, a crack appeared, yet in its fractured surface he discovered not brokenness, but the infinite facets of his true nature, each shard revealing a sliver of clarity. So too, your mind may feel fragmented by worries and memories, but each fragment holds a glimpse of timeless awareness. Outside, a distant owl hoots softly, a reminder that stillness has its own voice, low and unwavering. You picture a single dew-laden lotus petal drifting on a calm pond, untouched by ripples afloat in silent grace. Your thoughts, like gentle ripples, rise and fade, but beneath lies the unshaken water of pure presence. Invite your mind to settle as the lotus settles upon the surface, effortless, buoyant, at ease. What remains when the ripples cease? Feel the space between each breath expand an open field, where nothing is missing, nothing is required. A Zen master once said, "If you understand, things are just as they are. If you do not understand, things are just as they are." In that paradox lies freedom from striving. You need not chase understanding or chase away confusion. Both arise and dissolve within the same clear sky of awareness. Let your awareness rest there, boundless, uncontrived, silently embracing all that is. As you breathe, you return again and again to this moment, this breath, this stillness, knowing there is nowhere else to be, nothing else to seek. A soft breeze stirs at the edge of your awareness, carrying the faint scent of pine and earth. You imagine walking along a forest path at dusk, each step falling lightly as if the ground itself welcomes your presence. In this gentle journey lies the teaching of dependent origination. Every footfall arises from countless causes: the solidity of the earth, the strength of your bones, the intention to move forward. None standing alone, all intertwined in the dance of existence. You remember the story of the silent bell. In a distant temple, a bell hung unmoved for years, its chime unheard. One day, a humble novice unaware of tradition rang it with full heart. The deep resonance rippled across the valley, awakening birds and stones alike. The master smiled. True, awakening comes when we act from openness, not from expectation. In that resonance, you hear the echo of your own heart. No need to force the sound, simply allow it to arise naturally. Let your breath be the bell's toll. Pure, simple, unhurried. Feel how each inhale brings fresh clarity, each exhale a release of the worn and the weary. The forest path fades, and you find yourself seated beneath an ancient tree whose roots weave into the earth like silent anchors. Above, lantern-like fireflies hover, illuminating the dark with soft pulses of light. In this lantern glow, notice the delicate balance between light and shadow. A metaphor for emptiness. Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. Your thoughts and feelings appear like shapes in the night, but at their core lies the same open nothingness. What remains when you see through the shapes into the space they occupy? Invite your awareness into that space. Rest here, between inhalation and exhalation, between light and shadow, between thought and silence. There is no endpoint to this rest, only the unfolding of each moment, effortless and complete in itself. You feel the gentle weight of your body sink into the earth as if you are a single, unshakable mountain. In that grounding lies the teaching of non-attachment. Like a mountain that neither clings to the clouds nor fears the storms, you remain steady amid changing winds of thought. A Zen story comes to mind. A student watched his master pour water into a bamboo flute and then play the sweetest melody. When asked how the flute could sing, the master replied, "The music arises when the flute is empty. In your openness, without fullness of expectation, the song of your being plays on its own." Softly, you become aware of the space behind your eyes, a vast quiet hall where thoughts may enter but do not linger. Invite your awareness to rest there, noticing how the hall remains unchanged no matter what images pass through. What space opens up when you release the rush to fill every moment? The air around you feels lighter now, as if the boundaries between inside and outside have melted away. You and the world breathe as one, each inhalation drawing in the vastness of sky, each exhalation returning you to the stillness of earth. There is no doer and no deed, only the effortless unfolding of life's dance. As you drift in this harmony, remember the gentle sweep of the monk's broom on fallen leaves, each stroke a mindful caress of the present moment. You too can sweep away the dust of distraction, with each breath revealing the smooth surface of awareness beneath. Rest here in the silent symmetry of breath and being where nothing is missing and nothing needs to be sought. Let the night carry you deeper into this refuge of calm, its soft embrace guiding you home to the simplicity of your true nature. A distant stream murmurs in your ear, its gentle current guiding your attention to the present flow. In its ceaseless movement lies the teaching of impermanence once more. Water never clings to any shape, yet shapes the stones over time with patient persistence. You too can move through life's moments without grasping, allowing each to pass like water slipping through open hands. You recall the image of the weary traveler who paused by the river's bank. When asked why he stopped, he replied, "The river taught me that pressing forward too hard only creates turbulence. To journey smoothly, I must move with the current, not against it." In that simple wisdom, you find grace to let life's rhythm carry you, releasing the tension of resistance. As you breathe, imagine your mind as that flowing water, clear, reflective, adapting to every twist and turn, yet ever true to its essence. Notice how thoughts arrive, like pebbles dropped into the stream, sending ripples that fade back into stillness. What remains when the ripples settle is the calm depth beneath. A Zen parable speaks of a teacup left outside overnight. By dawn, dew has collected in its hollow, the cup now full of silent moisture. The next morning, the monk tipped it gently onto the ground, saying, "Even emptiness can hold its own precious gift." In that dew-laden cup, you see the potential of your own openness to collect the simplicity of this moment, undistracted and whole. Invite your awareness to settle like that dew, delicate yet complete. Release any urge to gather more, to analyze, or judge. Simply rest in the gentle fullness of now. As you do, the world softens around you, and you become the quiet witness to each passing thought, each subtle breath, each beating heart. Let this current carry you deeper into ease, its soft murmur, leading you home to your own center, where clarity and calm are always present, waiting like the silent depths of a river under moonlight. A soft glow appears at the edge of your mind, like dawn's first light slipping beneath a closed door. In that gentle promise lies the teaching of interdependence, night and day shadow, and light breath and silence. None stand alone, each arising through the other. You too are part of this seamless dance, neither wholly night nor fully day, but the space where both meet. You remember the Zen koan of the empty boat. A monk rows across a misty lake when suddenly he drifts into another vessel. He calls out in anger, then realizes the boat is unoccupied. At that moment, his frustration dissolves into laughter. So often our minds collide with imagined obstacles, and yet there is no other, only our own projections. What peace awaits when you see the boat is empty? Feel the quiet smile that follows this insight as tension falls away, like dew from a leaf in morning sun. Your breath deepens each inhale, drawing in clarity, each exhale, releasing subtle discord. The lake of your awareness grows still, its surface mirroring the boundless sky of pure presence. Invite your mind to become as that silent water, reflecting all that arises, yet unmoved by circumstance. Notice how even the subtlest thought disturbs the surface, creating ripples that fade into an infinite calm. What remains beneath those ripples is the luminous heart of being itself. A solitary crane steps onto the shore, its long legs carving paths through tall grasses. It pauses, poised between movement and stillness, embodying the balance of effort and ease. In that poised quietude, you find a reflection of your own practice simply to be here, neither forcing nor holding back, resting in the perfect harmony of now. Let this harmony settle into your bones, spreading warmth and stillness through every cell. As you breathe, you become the silent crane, graceful, attentive, wholly present. And in this presence, all things, the ripple, the dew, the crane, the breath, are one seamless unfolding of life's gentle mystery. The world around you grows softer, the edges of thought blurring into the muted glow of awareness. You sense the gentle murmur of existence itself, a tapestry woven from countless moments, each as fleeting and precious as the next. This is the teaching of emptiness. All forms arise, yet none possess inherent substance, like mirages shimmering in the desert air. You lean into that truth, feeling the weight of solidity dissolve into lightness. In the distance, a bamboo grove whispers with the wind's passage, each stalk bending and straightening in an unspoken dance. A Zen master once taught that true resilience is not rigid strength, but the ability to yield and return like bamboo bending in the storm. You too can bend with life's currents without breaking, embracing change as the essence of your being. Let your breath follow the sway of the bamboo, flexible, responsive, free. With each inhale, gather the breath's vitality. With each exhale, release any remaining tension. Notice how your mind, like the grove, finds rhythm in surrender, its movements fluid and alive. There is no journey to complete, no goal, to attain only the unfolding of this moment's grace. As you rest here, you discover the simple invitation at the heart of all teachings: return again and again to your breath, to this very stillness, where peace lives quietly, always available beneath the storm of thought. A hush settles, as if the night itself is holding its breath, and you become aware of the subtle vibration at the center of your being, the gentle hum of life itself. In that soft resonance lies the teaching of mindfulness. Each moment is complete in itself, not a prelude to something else, but the fullness of experience happening now. You recall the story of the silent flute. After years of practice, a monk lifted a carved bamboo flute to his lips, only to find no holes cut. Perplexed, he realized the true melody was not in the notes written by human hands, but in the silence that surrounds them. So too, your awareness is the melody, and thoughts are simply the spaces between notes. Feel how each breath composes its own song, an unspoken tune woven from the rise and fall of air, the whisper of your chest, the pulse of your heart. As you listen, you discover that silence is not empty. It is the canvas on which every moment paints itself. Invite yourself to rest in that silent music. What remains when you stop reaching for the next note? In the space between inhales and exhales and the quiet between thoughts, you find the timeless song of being played softly, endlessly, and wholly yours. You feel the gentle expansion of space within your chest, as if a hidden chamber has quietly opened, inviting you to step inside. In that openness lies the teaching of dependent co-arising each sensation. Each thought arises in relation to countless hidden causes, and yet none stands alone. You too are born of stardust and breath of longing and release woven into the vast web of existence. Recall the monk who tended a single candle flame through wind and rain. Every evening he sheltered its glow, until one night a gust extinguished it. Undeterred, he lit it again, saying softly, "True light remains unchanged, even when the flame flickers out." His quiet courage reminds you that beneath all change, your own light of awareness remains steadfast. As you breathe, imagine your awareness as that inner flame, steady, warm, unafraid of darkness. With each inhale, you nurture its glow. With each exhale, you release the smoke of doubt and fear. Notice how your mind brightens clear and undisturbed, reflecting the silent steadiness of pure presence. Let yourself rest in that unwavering light. What remains when you stop fighting the shadows? In this soft illumination, every breath becomes a gentle gesture of homecoming, guiding you ever deeper into the calm center of your own being. A faint ripple of warmth spreads through your limbs, as if the gentle sun of dawn has touched your skin, though the night remains unbroken. In this subtle glow lies the teaching of effortless action Wu Wei, where doing and non-doing merge into a single flow. You are like water, moving without effort, shaping itself to every vessel without strain. You remember the story of the silent gardener who tended a lotus pond. Each morning, he would simply clear the fallen petals and debris, never forcing growth or pruning branches. Over time, the pond thrived, its flowers unfolding in perfect harmony. His secret was simple caring without clinging, tending without demanding. So too, your practice unfolds when you gently attend to each breath without grasping for perfection. Feel your breath move with that same ease, no pushing, no pulling, only natural unfolding. As you inhale, welcome each moment. As you exhale, release all that is no longer needed. Notice how this gentle rhythm carries you deeper into spacious calm, where the heart's quiet wisdom quietly waits. A soft chorus of distant crickets hums in unison, their song a testament to simple presence, each chirp neither rushed nor delayed, but perfectly timed in the grand simplicity of night. In their song lies the teaching of connectedness. Every life, no matter how small, plays its part in the harmony of existence. You, too, are a note in this quiet symphony, your breath and heartbeat entwined with every creature under the moon. Remember the Zen tale of the spider and the dew. A spider's web, hung between bamboo stalks, glistens at dawn with countless droplets of dew. When the sun rises, the droplets vanish, but the web remains. In the same way, beauty and clarity emerge when you rest without attachment, each moment sparkling briefly before dissolving into the vast stillness beneath. Invite your attention to the gentle hum of the crickets, feeling it resonate in your chest like a lullaby. With each inhale, you draw their measured calm into yourself. With each exhale, you release any last trace of striving. Notice how in this shared rhythm, you and the night become one seamless wave of quiet awareness. What remains when you stop trying to orchestrate the music and simply allow yourself to become part of it? In that question, you find a door, opening an unspoken invitation to merge with the night's gentle pulse, resting in the simple perfection of what is. You notice the pale reflection of the moon shimmering on still water, its shape shifting with each subtle breeze. In that image lies the teaching of no self. The moon's form appears whole, yet it has no fixed boundary. Both form and reflection dissolve into one luminous presence. You, too, hold no permanent core. Your sense of self is a gentle ripple on the vast lake of awareness. You recall the story of the forgotten mirror, buried in the earth and rediscovered by a humble farmer. When polished clean, it reflected not his tired face, but the infinite sky above. He realized that beneath every layer of dust lies the clarity of the heavens. Allow your mind to be that polished mirror, free of judgment and expectation, reflecting simply what is. As you breathe, imagine the moonlight touching every corner of your being, illuminating each hidden crevice of doubt and fear until they fade away. With each exhale, release the weight of self-doubt like a discarded cloak. Notice how the clear water remains unchanged, even as each ripple fades. What arises when you rest in this luminous reflection without clinging to shape or story? In that openness, you find the unity of form and emptiness, the silent embrace of all that is gently guiding you deeper into the stillness that has always been your true home. A gentle hush settles over the night, as if every star holds its breath in quiet anticipation. You become aware of the soft interplay between light and darkness, each defining and dissolving the other in an endless embrace. This is the teaching of dependent origination. Once more, without darkness, light would not shine, and without silence, sound would have no place to rest. In the stillness, you recall the ancient story of the bell's echo. A novice struck the temple bell at dawn, but no sound followed. Puzzled, he listened, and in the silence discovered the bell's true resonance, an echo that lives beyond any audible ring. So too, your awareness holds a resonance beyond the clamor of thoughts, a silent echo of pure being. Feel this resonance as a gentle vibration at your core, subtle yet unwavering. With each inhale, you draw in the vast expanse of the cosmos. With each exhale, you return gracefully to the ground beneath you. Notice how the boundary between sky and earth self and world softens with each breath, revealing the seamless fabric of existence. Invite yourself to dwell in this field of gentle resonance, where every breath becomes both question and answer, both ripple and stillness. What remains when the last echo fades into silence? In that silent afterglow, you find the timeless pulse of life itself, steady, gentle, and ever-present, guiding you deeper into the embrace of peaceful night. A soft stillness envelops you, as if the entire world has exhaled and paused in perfect harmony. In this profound quiet, you sense the teaching of interbeing. Once again, every silence arises from the space between sounds, every breath from the meeting of air and body. You are both the silent gap and the sound itself, inseparable in the tapestry of now. You recall the anecdote of the lotus blooming in muddy water. Despite its dark surroundings, the flower emerges pristine, untouched by the murk below. Its petals open to the sky without hesitation, reminding you that purity and peace arise naturally when conditions align, and your heart too can bloom amidst life's currents when you cease resisting. Feel your awareness unfold like those petals, each breath gently lifting you toward clarity. With each inhale, draw in the cool night air. With each exhale, let go of any lingering tension. Notice how in this effortless rhythm, you become both the flower and the water, the mud and the sky. Each aspect essential, each perfectly whole. What blossoms when you rest in that openness, free from judgment and expectation? In that question, you find the quiet invitation to remain here, where every moment is a seed of awakening, waiting patiently to unfold in the stillness of your own being. A gentle breeze stirs the curtains of your mind, revealing the soft glow of countless stars overhead. In their silent brilliance, you discover the teaching of dependent co-arising. Each star's light reaches you after traveling eons, sparkling only because of the vast emptiness between. Similarly, your awareness illuminates every moment because of the silent space within. You remember the Zen story of the traveling monk who carried a lantern without ever lighting it. When asked why, he replied, "The lantern shows the path even unlit for faith shines brighter than flame." In that faith, you find your own inner light. No flame required, only the trust that your presence is enough. Feel that quiet trust radiate within you. With each inhale, welcome the starlight of awareness. With each exhale, release the need for proof or certainty. Notice how in this gentle surrender, you become both the star and the night sky, each incomplete without the other, yet together whole. What path unfolds when you walk by starlight alone, trusting the unseen? In that question lies the tender invitation to journey deeper into mystery, guided by the luminous stillness that already dwells within your heart. A soft murmur of wind through pine needles drifts into your awareness, carrying the scent of earth and rain. In that whisper lies the teaching of emptiness. Sound arises from space, and when the space remains, the sound has room to disappear. You lean into that openness, letting each rustle slip through the silence like a passing cloud. You recall the Zen tale of the silent drum. A master struck his drum, once then, never again. Yet disciples spoke of its resonant tone for weeks afterward. The master smiled and said, "True resonance lives not in the strike, but in the echo left behind." So too, your presence vibrates gently in the stillness, a resonance beyond action or thought. Feel this resonance settle in your bones, an echo of calm that outlasts any fleeting worry. With each inhale, you draw in the vast space that holds the drum's echo. With each exhale, you let go of any tension that dulls your inner tone. Notice how in the absence of noise, your true clarity shines forth effortlessly. What remains when the last drop of sound dissolves into silence? In that silent afterglow, you discover a boundless field of awareness. No boundary, no grasping, only the infinite echo of being itself, inviting you to rest in its gentle embrace. A gentle hush falls over the world as you settle once more into the embrace of darkness, the soft weight of night wrapping around you like a velvet cloak. You feel the fullness of your body pressing gently into the mattress, each contour supported each breath, cradled by the stillness that surrounds you. In this moment, you are invited to sink deeper, not into sleep, but into the very essence of presence itself, where mind and body merge into one seamless field of awareness. Imagine a vast ancient cedar standing on a windswept mountain peak. Its roots dive deep into the earth's cool core, anchoring it against every gale. Its branches reach ever upward, caressing the sky with unfurling needles. In this single image lies the teaching of interbeing at work, strength and flexibility, groundedness and aspiration, solid and open at once. You too possess this dual nature. Your breath is both anchor and sail, rooted in the body, while buoyed by the air that carries it forward. Recall the story of Master Dogen's floating cypress. After the temple burned, one great tree washed down river, guided by currents until it came to rest exactly where a new temple was to be built. The tree itself had chosen its place, moved by forces unseen, guided by wisdom beyond intention. So too, you can trust that the rhythms of your mind and body guide you toward the still center, the place where all needs are met without effort. Let your breath follow the currents that carry the floating cypress. As you inhale, sense the gathering energy of the root's earth muscle bone drawing strength upward. As you exhale, imagine your awareness drifting like the cypress across water, finding its perfectly chosen resting place. Notice how this interplay dissolves any sense of struggle. The more you trust the flow, the more you are carried by it. Now bring to mind the image of the empty cup again, but this time in a moonlit garden. The cup sits on a stone bench dew, collecting quietly within its hollow, catching reflections of stars above. The dew neither clings nor evaporates in haste. It simply forms, like all things, according to the harmony of conditions. In the same way, the quiet dew of awareness gathers in the cup of your mind, reflecting the vast sky of consciousness without effort or striving. Invite your own mind to be that moonlit cup. Feel how each thought like a droplet arises naturally, then settles into the spacious openness within. You do not need to discard or perfect these thoughts. They simply pass through your awareness, leaving behind only the clarity of the cup's smooth interior. Allow this smoothness to extend through your entire experience. Sense the gentle expansiveness behind your eyes, the silent hall where images enter and exit without leaving a trace. Let every inhalation polish the walls of that hall. Let every exhalation sweep away dust and distraction. As the hall becomes ever more luminous, you discover that your true nature is already pristine, untouched by the fluctuations of emotion or thought. Consider the question, what remains when there is nothing left to hold on to? In the pause, after that question, you find a mirror-like depth reflecting the night sky of your awareness. Here, breath and silence are one. Here the world and the watcher are inseparable. Rest in the knowing that this mirror need never be filled nor emptied. It simply reflects what is without judgment, without clinging. Let the night carry you further into the sanctuary of calm, its hush, guiding each inhalation deeper into mystery, each exhalation releasing the last thread of tension. And as you drift, know that wherever you journey in these dark waters of awareness, you are always held, always home. A silken stillness settles into your bones as though the very air has thickened into velvet around you. You sense the subtle interplay of gravity and light gravity drawing you gently into the earth, light lifting you toward the sky. In this interplay lies the teaching of the middle way, neither clinging to extremes, nor rejecting what is but finding the equilibrium that holds all opposites together. You too can rest in this balanced center, where ease and effort meet in perfect harmony. Imagine a narrow mountain pass at dawn. On one side, sheer cliffs drop into mist-shrouded valleys. On the other, jagged crags reach relentlessly toward the rising sun. Yet the path itself, worn by countless footsteps, lies steadfast between these extremes, neither swaying toward the void nor pushing into the rocks. It is the path of moderation, the silent corridor of awakening that carries each traveler safely through. Recall the tale of the two arrows. The first arrow is the inevitable pain of life loss, aging uncertainty. The second arrow is the suffering we add by resisting or lamenting that pain. A Zen master taught a student that while the first arrow is unavoidable, the second can be released, allowing freedom even amid hardship. In your own mind, notice where you may have drawn that second arrow. Stories of regret, fear of tomorrow, self-judgment, and gently unstring it, letting it fall harmlessly to the ground. As you breathe, imagine that mountain pass unfolding before you. Each inhalation guiding you along the narrow way, each exhalation clearing away debris of tension. Feel how the solid earth beneath your spine supports you while the vast sky overhead cradles your thoughts. With each step in this passage of breath, you embody the middle way, moving neither too fast nor too slow, neither too tight nor too loose, only alive to the unfolding moment. Now, bring into focus the image of a lone lantern swinging in the corridor of an ancient temple. The flame wavers, but never falters its gentle glow, illuminating stone walls worn smooth by time and footsteps. A monk once followed that light for years, guided not by certainty, but by trust in each flicker's soft invitation. One night, The flame danced so close, he saw the hollow of the lantern, empty space filled with possibility. He bowed and understood that the true lantern was not the brass frame, but the emptiness within that held the light. Invite your attention into that empty lantern, sensing the spaciousness that holds yet is never filled. What remains when you release the need to belong to any fixed form? In that open hollow, your breath becomes the flame, steady alive, unbounded by the lantern's shape. Here you find the union of form and emptiness, the light of awareness, dancing freely in the vast openness of being. Let this union guide you deeper into calm, where every breath is both path and destination. Every moment a prayer without words, and every flicker of thought a gentle reminder of the boundless space that holds it all. A distant chorus of frogs begins its evening hymn, each croak and trill weaving into a gentle tapestry of sound that cradles your awareness like a lullaby. In their collective song, you perceive the teaching of harmony. Each voice contributes its unique tone, yet together they create a unity far richer than any single note. You too are part of this vast chorus. Your breath, your heartbeat, your quiet presence adding to the symphony of life. Picture a moonlit pond where lotus flowers float on glassy water. Some are in bud, others fully open petals, unfurling in the cool night air. A legend tells of a master who tended this pond, speaking softly to each blossom as if it were a student. He said, "When you care for another, you care for yourself. Nurturing the lotus is nurturing the lotus within you." In that simple act of kindness, you recognize that compassion extends inward as naturally as it flows outward. Let your breath be that gentle tending. With each inhale, draw in the tender warmth of compassion. With each exhale, send that warmth back into the world, even if only within your own heart. Feel how this cyclical exchange softens the edges of judgment and opens the space for acceptance of yourself, of others, of this unfolding night. A single firefly drifts past its glow, flickering like a fleeting thought. In its brief illumination lies the teaching of mindfulness. Notice each moment's brilliance before it fades, savoring the light without clinging to it. Watch the firefly until it disappears. Then gently bring your attention back to the breath, ready to witness the next spark that arises. As you rest here, imagine the pond's surface transforming into liquid glass, reflecting both sky and self in flawless stillness. What remains when you see no difference between reflection and reflected, between observer and observed? In that mirroring distinctions dissolve, and you rest in the pure field of awareness where all arises and returns. Slowly, you become aware of a gentle warmth at your core, a soft glow that spreads through your chest and radiates outward, suffusing every cell with peaceful light. This glow is neither flame nor ember, but the quiet warmth of being fully alive in this present moment. There is no need to fan it or to shield it from wind. It shines simply because it is allowed to. Rest in that warmth. Listen to the frogs, the rustle of leaves, the whisper of your own breath. Know that this night's song is yours as much as theirs, and that in this shared melody you are both singer and listener-composer and composition. And as you settle deeper into this harmonious field, every thought softens, every tension melts away, and you are carried onward by the gentle current of presence itself, ever unfolding, ever complete. A soft, luminous mist drifts through your awareness, as if the boundary between breath and space has dissolved into gentle vapor. In this haze, you sense the teaching of non-duality. The mist is neither holy breath nor holy air, yet without both it could not form. You too are both subject and object observer, and observed inseparable in the dance of awareness. You recall the story of the blindfolded archer. A student claimed he could hit the target only by feeling the bowstring's tension and trusting his body's memory. His master then blindfolded him, and still the arrows found the bullseye. When asked how he aimed, the student replied, "I no longer see the target. I become the arrow." In that moment, you see that perception arises when you release the tight hold on self and other, letting mind and world merge in effortless precision. Let your breath carry you into that openness. With each inhale, feel the gentle rise of your belly, like a sail catching wind. With each exhale, release the anchored weight of expectation into the boundless sea of now. Notice how in this fluid motion, there is no separate you steering the breath. It simply flows like water, tracing its own path. Outside, the soft patter of rain begins on distant rooftops, each drop a subtle note in the night's lullaby. In these rhythms lies the teaching of impermanence. No two drops fall the same, and yet each contributes to the same gentle song. Listen to how the rain enfolds you, inviting you to release any final threads of tension, each patter washing away the day's remnants. A monk once meditated through a storm, unmoved by thunder and lightning. When asked how he remained so still, he said, "The storm and I arise together. To cling to safety is to invite fear. But when I rest in the storm's heart, I discover that stillness is its true nature. In that fierce calm, you find your own refuge, the eye of the storm, where peace resides even amid life's wildest winds." Invite yourself now into that eye. Let the rain's cadence lull your heartbeat into synchronicity. Feel how every drop that falls outside awakens a drop of calm within. Breathe deeply, drawing the storm's energy into your center. Breathe out, returning its power to the vast atmosphere of silent night. What remains when you meet the storm without resistance? In that meeting, you find freedom, a stillness that cannot be shaken, a clarity untouched by the chaos around. Rest here in this gentle echo of rain and breath, where night's soft embrace carries you ever deeper into the boundless sanctuary of your own being. The hush deepens as the night sky unfurls above you, a dome of velvet stitched with silver threads. You lie still, feeling the gentle rise and fall of your chest, each breath a silent prayer to the mystery of existence. In this silence lies the teaching of emptiness, an open field where thoughts graze like deer at dusk, pausing only long enough to be seen before wandering on. You too can watch each thought arrive and depart without judgment, allowing the mind's landscape to remain vast and untroubled. Imagine a single lotus blooming on a still pond under the moon's gentle gaze. Its petals unfold slowly, silently, revealing layers of delicate ivory that glow against the inky water. A Zen master once told his students that the lotus teaches us how to emerge unspoiled from murky depths, reminding us that beauty and clarity can arise even amid confusion and doubt. In your heart, you sense the same potential. Beneath every storm of thought lies the calm pond of awareness, ready to reflect the moon's light in perfect stillness. Let your breath be the pond's surface, clear, reflective, undisturbed. With each inhalation, draw in the tender luminescence of that moonlit lotus. With each exhalation, release the layers of worry and tension, letting them sink quietly into the depths. Feel how your body softens, how every muscle and fiber relaxes into the support beneath you, like petals gently resting upon water. A soft chorus of wind-kissed bamboo stirs in the distance, their slender stalks, whispering secrets carried on the breeze. In their song, you hear the teaching of resilience. Though the stalks bend in every gust, they never break, yielding to the wind only to return upright when the storm has passed. You too can bend with life's challenges, yielding without surrender, returning always to your center of strength and equanimity. Recall the tale of the old gardener who tended a grove of bonsai trees. Each day, he would prune shape and care for them with meticulous attention, understanding that growth can be guided but not forced. Over years, the trees transformed into living sculptures, their forms embodying the harmony between human intention and nature's wisdom. In your own practice, remember that each moment of mindfulness is like a careful pruning, removing what obstructs clarity, fostering the serene shape of awareness within. As you breathe, imagine your mind as that bonsai grove, each inhalation a careful snip away of distraction, each exhalation a gentle watering of presence. Notice the interplay between effort and ease, how you guide your attention with intention, yet allow the process to unfold naturally without force. In this dance of mindfulness, you discover the seamless unity of practice and being. Now bring to mind the image of the ancient temple bell, its surface worn smooth by centuries of weather and ritual. One clear morning, the bell's keeper struck it with a wooden mallet, and the resonance that followed vibrated through stone corridors, shaking dust from rafters and awakening birds in distant trees. Yet the true marvel was not the loudness of the toll, but how long its echo lingered, weaving itself into the very air until it finally dissolved into silence. In that echo lies the teaching of interbeing. Every sound arises from countless interwoven causes, wood, metal, air, and tension, and returns to the same network when it fades away. Let your awareness become the echo of that bell. Feel the subtle vibrations coursing through your chest, through every cell extending outward into the quiet dark. With each breath, you generate a gentle resonance that intertwines with the world around you, reminding you that you are never separate from the vast web of life. And when your breath pauses, notice the after sound, the silent imprint of presence that lingers even in stillness. In the depths of this awareness, you find the final invitation. Rest here in the boundless field of night's embrace. There is nowhere to go, nothing to achieve, only the ever-unfolding mystery of being. Let your mind settle like the lotus on the pond, your heart stand firm as the cedar on the mountain, and your spirit flow like the river carving canyons through time. And as you drift between breaths, between sounds, between the spaces of thought, know that you are cradled by an infinite calm, ever present and ever kind. Let this calm carry you into the gentle drift of sleep, where dreams arise like lanterns on a silent lake, guiding you toward deeper rest. In this timeless sanctuary, you are home. A soft halo of silver light illuminates the room's shadows, as if the moon itself has lent you its gentle radiance. You become aware of a subtle vibration just beneath your skin, a quiet hum that resonates in harmony with the universe's silent heartbeat. In this resonance lies the teaching of dependent origination. Every quiver of your flesh, every pulse of your blood arises from countless hidden influences, cells, elements, cosmic forces, each interwoven in the vast tapestry of life. You too are both a single note and the entire symphony, inseparable from the music you create. Imagine walking through a bamboo forest at twilight. The tall stalks rise like silent sentinels, their leaves whispering secrets as the breeze meanders through. Somewhere ahead, a stream trickles over mossy stones, its voice gentle yet persistent, carving its path patiently through rock. This scene embodies the middle way, firm, yet flexible, quiet, yet alive. You, like water, yield to obstacles only to return to your course. Like bamboo, you bend with life's storms and stand upright when they pass. You recall the story of the master's ink painting. He would place a blank sheet before disciples and without a single stroke ask them to understand the art. Only when they recognized that the blankness itself was the painting, empty yet full of possibility, did they glimpse true wisdom. In that lesson lies the heart of emptiness. Form is never separate from space, and silence carries the seeds of boundless creativity. Let your mind become that blank scroll, still and pure. With each inhalation, draw in the vibrant energy of the world, the scent of pine, the murmur of night insects, the chill of moonlit air. With each exhalation, release stories of past and future, letting them drift away like autumn leaves carried by wind. Notice how your thoughts lose their urgency, how the space between them widens into gentle halls of calm. Now, in the hush between breaths, picture the lotus pond once more, this time at dawn's first blush. The flowers glow pale pink, their petals cradling drops of dew that catch the early sun like scattered diamonds. A novice monk once spent an entire season tending those blooms, learning not to hurry growth or coax perfection. Instead, he came each morning, gently cleared away debris, and simply observed the unfolding miracle. Over time, he realized that his daily practice was not about shaping the lotus, but being shaped by its quiet patience. Invite that same patience into your breath. Feel how each inhale unfurls like a lotus petal, slowly, deliberately, and how each exhale folds back into the stillness beneath. As you breathe, imagine your being becoming porous, receptive to both light and shadow, to joy and sorrow, holding them all without clinging. In that porousness lies compassion, a heart that welcomes suffering and beauty with equal tenderness, understanding that both are woven from the same threads of experience. In the distance, nocturnal birds call softly, their tones neither bright nor mournful, but exactly as they need to be. Through their song, you hear the teaching of authenticity, to express your true nature uncolored by fear or pretense, trusting that your unique voice adds value to the whole. You too can let your being sing its note, confident that even a single whisper can become part of the grand chorus. As the night deepens, you sense a gentle warmth rising from your core, spreading through your torso, arms and legs, until your entire body glows from within. This warmth is neither flame nor heat, but the soft glow of presence and unbroken flame that cannot be extinguished, tending itself in the quiet sanctuary of your awareness. Let this inner light guide you, illuminating each shadowed corner of the mind until nothing remains hidden. Rest now in this luminous stillness, where breath and silence entwine, where thought and feeling merge, and where the boundary between self and world dissolves into one seamless stream of awareness. Here, you discover that home is not a place, but the open field of being itself, a field you carry within wherever you go. And as you remain suspended between breaths, between echoes and silences, know that you are cradled by an infinite calm, ever present and ever kind. Let this calm carry you onward into the gentle embrace of sleep, where dreams rise like lanterns on a mirror-like pond, guiding you toward deeper rest and tranquil renewal. A deep, resonant stillness settles over your awareness, as though the world itself has paused to breathe alongside you. In this sacred quiet, you perceive the teaching of non-attachment once again, like a bird that alights on a branch only to lift away. When the wind shifts, you rest fully in each moment, yet remain free to follow the next breeze. You are both perched and airborne, held and released by the same silent wing. Envision a lone heron standing at the water's edge before dawn. It remains utterly motionless, its reflection mirrored perfectly beneath it, no ripple, no shiver of movement. Then with a single effortless strike, it plunges its beak into the pond and emerges with a fish, its stillness, giving rise to action so seamless that it appears as though nothing moved at all. In that graceful union of rest and motion lies the secret of effortless action, doing without doing, being without becoming. Feel this convergence in your own body. With each inhale, settle into the calm reservoir beneath the surface of thought. With each exhale, allow action to arise naturally from that pool. No force, no hesitation, only the effortless unfolding of life's rhythm. Notice how this gentle balance dissolves any tension between movement and stillness, guiding you into a place where doing and being are one. A Zen master once taught, when you forget yourself, you become everything. In the boundless expanse of this moment, let go of the storyteller in you, the one who narrates, judges, or plans, and simply become the unfolding scene itself, the heron, the water, the silent dawn. As you embody this truth, the boundaries between self and world soften, revealing the seamless web of interconnection that holds all life. Now draw your attention to the subtle warmth radiating from your heart center, a glow neither imagined nor manufactured, but arising spontaneously from deep within. This inner warmth is the ember of kindness glowing softly, even in the darkest night. With each breath, fan it gently, sending its light through your chest, your arms, your fingertips, until your entire being pulses with compassionate warmth. Feel how this light touches every corner of your inner landscape, illuminating fear, melting rigidity, inviting softness. In this gentle braiding of warmth and stillness, you discover that compassion is not something apart from you, but the very texture of your own awareness when it is free of barriers. Each inhale draws in the world's unspoken longings. Each exhale offers back the quiet refuge of your open heart. You become both recipient and giver, not two, but one. Listen now to the far-off toll of a temple bell, its sound drifting across rice paddies wrapped in mist. The note emerges, lingers, and then dissolves into the air, weaving itself into the fabric of dawn. In that moment, you understand that life's most profound messages come not in words, but in resonance vibrations that echo through time and space long after their source has faded. Rest here, in that resonant silence, feeling its subtle hum within your bones, its gentle echo in your breath. You are both the bell and the echo, the sound and the space in which it fades. And as you remain suspended in this luminous stillness, know that the journey home into deep healing sleep has already begun. A gentle luminescence fills your awareness as though the entire night sky has descended to rest upon your eyelids. You sense the delicate boundary where breath melts into thought and thought dissolves into the vast reservoir of silence beneath. In this luminous space lies the teaching of the empty mind. When the mind is free of clutter, it reflects reality clearly, like a polished mirror, untouched by dust or distortion. Imagine a sculptor working with marble. At first, the stone seems unyielding its form, hidden within raw, unshaped mass. With each careful strike of chisel and mallet, layers of excess are removed until the form within is revealed. Yet the sculptor knows that the final beauty lies not in the removal, but in the openness. He uncovers the space within the stone that allows the figure to emerge. You too can view your mind as that marble uncovering your true nature by gently sweeping away the debris of worry, regret, and doubt. Recall the story of the calligrapher who painted a single brushstroke on a vast sheet of paper and then stopped. The simplicity of that stroke revealed more meaning than pages of intricate characters, for it embodied the artist's entire spirit in one living line. In your own practice, one breath fully attended, fully felt, contains the essence of countless others. There is no need to fill the page with words. The single line of presence carries all wisdom. As you inhale, envision the sculptor's hammer tapping rhythmically each breath, a strike releasing tension. As you exhale, feel the chisel of awareness gliding along the mind's surface, smoothing away rough edges until only the pure form of being remains. Notice how with each breath, the space behind thoughts widens, allowing the stillness at your core to shine through. Outside, the soft trill of cicadas weaves a steady rhythm, reminding you of the teaching of impermanence. Each insect's song is brief, yet together they create a timeless chorus that defines the season. Listen to this chorus, not as noise to ignore, but as a living meditation that anchors you to the present moment. Each trill is unique, each life song fleeting, and yet in their collective resonance, they reveal the beauty of transience. Invite your awareness to align with that chorus. Feel the harmony of your breath, joining the cicadas' call, your heartbeat syncing with their rhythm. In that union, you discover that you are both individual voice and communal song, distinct yet inseparable from the whole. Now bring to mind the image of a stone tea house perched on the edge of a waterfall. The water cascades endlessly, yet the house remains unshaken, its foundation rooted deep in bedrock. A master once invited his students to sip tea there, urging them to feel both the waterfall's power and the house's solidity. He said, "In stillness, you find clarity. In motion, you find purpose." As you imagine that tea house, allow your own mind to be both rock and water steady amid change fluid within form. Rest here in that duality where stillness ripples into movement and movement settles into stillness, each supporting the other in perfect balance. Breathe gently and know that in this interplay of opposites, you find the seamless tapestry of awakening ever unfolding, ever complete, and wholly yours. A hush, like velvet, settles around you once more, and you sense the gentle warmth of your breath as it moves through your body, an invitation to abide fully in this moment. In the simplicity of each inhale and exhale, you touch the core of mindfulness, the precise awareness of what is free from the stories and judgments that so often cloud perception. You become both witness and witnessed, each breath a miracle of interdependence arising from the meeting of mind, body, and air. Imagine a solitary lantern hung at the end of a temple corridor, its flame sheltered by a glass pane. Outside, the wind howls and rain pelts the roof, yet inside the lantern's light remains unwavering. A monk once stood before it through the storm, marveling that though the flame bowed and flickered, it was never extinguished. He learned that true resilience comes not from resisting life's tempests, but from protecting the seed of awareness within, nurturing it gently, regardless of outer chaos. As you breathe, picture your own lantern of presence shining in the heart of your chest. With each inhale, stoke that inner flame with compassion. With each exhale, shield it from the flicker of fear or doubt. Notice how your awareness can be both tender and strong, open to life's storms, yet anchored in its own quiet light. Outside your mind's eye, you hear the distant murmur of temple bells at midnight, each toll resonating like a heartbeat in the silent dark. In their harmonious echo lies the teaching of dependent co-arising. Each chime is born of wood-striking metal of intention and space, and returns to silence only to be reborn again. Your thoughts and feelings emerge in the same way, worthy of attention, but never fixed, each dissolving into the stillness from which it arose. Invite yourself now to listen deeply to that echo feeling. It reverberate through your spine, your bones, every fiber of being. What remains when the echo fades, in that vacant aftertone lies the boundless field of awareness, vast, unmeasured, untouched by the comings and goings of thought. A Zen master once guided his students to stand barefoot on cold stone at dawn, instructing them to feel the chill without recoiling. At first, many shivered and lifted their feet, but those who remained discovered that the cold had its own gift. It sharpened their attention, dissolving mental chatter until only pure sensation remained. In that practice lies the heart of direct knowing, to encounter reality as it is moment by moment, without fleeing into commentary or distraction. Now bring your full attention to the sensations of your body against the bed, how the curve of your spine meets the mattress, how the gentle pressure of blankets rests against your skin. Feel each point of contact as a gateway to here and now, a reminder that presence is not an abstract concept, but the living tapestry of sensation, thought, and breath woven together. As you settle into this embodied awareness, notice how the mind stories grow quieter, like ripples on a pond, fading into mirrored stillness. In that silence, a question arises without seeking an answer. What is the ease beneath all effort? Let this question rest in the space between your breaths, not as a puzzle to solve, but as a gentle invitation to rest more deeply. Here in this sanctified hush, you are both the seeker and the sought, the question and the quiet beyond. Breathe into this mystery and let its soft current carry you onward into the limitless night, where sleep itself becomes a gentle unfolding of presence, a journey without distance, complete in every silent step. A gentle hush permeates the space between each heartbeat, as if the world itself has paused to honor this sacred interval. You rest here in the luminous cocoon of night, your breath weaving a tapestry of calm that extends beyond skin and bone, merging with the very fabric of silence. In this stillness, you touch the teaching of no temporal bound past and future dissolve, leaving only the living edge of now, where awakening unfolds like the slow unfurling of a blossom at dawn. Imagine walking barefoot along a moss-covered path in an ancient forest, the damp earth yielding softly underfoot. Each step presses you into the present, the cool green scent of pine and fern rising to greet you. Dappled moonlight filters through the canopy painting, shifting patterns on the ground. In this path lies the lesson of presence. The journey is not measured by distance traveled, but by the depth of attention you bring to each step. There is nowhere to arrive, only the quiet joy of walking rooted and radiant in every footfall. Recall the parable of the silent guest. A stranger arrived at a monastery's gate and was welcomed without question. He sat through meals without speaking and left at dawn without comment. Yet his simple presence transformed the community, inspiring kindness without a single word. In his silence, the monks discovered that true teaching needs no proclamation, only the purity of being fully here. You too can be the silent guest in your own experience, receiving each moment without judgment or expectation, allowing your presence to awaken what is already whole. As you inhale, draw in the cool forest air, letting its clarity fill your lungs. As you exhale, release all contractions of mind and body, melting tension into the earth beneath you. With each breath, feel your awareness widen, touching the roots that cradle the trees, the ancient rocks that anchor the ground, the unseen currents of life that pulse through every living thing. Notice how your own existence is woven into this vast interdependent dance, inseparable from the web of being itself. A lone owl watches you from a high branch, its golden eyes reflecting the moon's gentle glow. In its gaze lies the teaching of wisdom, to see clearly without attachment, to observe the flux of life without being carried away by it. You too can cultivate that clear seeing, neither grasping at beauty nor rejecting pain, simply witnessing all with a heart softened by compassion. Now bring your attention to the subtle echo of your own breath as it flows in and out, a silent drumbeat in the cathedral of night. What arises when you listen deeply to that echo beyond the surface of sound? In that deep listening, you discover the boundless sanctuary that underlies every fleeting sensation, a refuge untouched by the storms of thought. Rest here a while longer, cradled by the forest's hush and the night's embrace. In this radiant stillness, the boundary between you and all that is softly dissolves, revealing the seamless unity of life's unfolding mystery. And as you settle into the gentle currents of presence, know that sleep itself becomes a natural continuation of this pathless path, an effortless journey home to the infinite quiet at the heart of your own being. A soft vibration hums through the air as though the very atoms of night are awakening to your presence. You lie motionless, feeling the gentle expansion of your lungs ripple through your torso like the first wave that stirs on an otherwise glassy sea. In this subtle movement lies the teaching of gradual cultivation. Even the tiniest shift tended patiently over time can transform the vast landscape of mind and heart. You too can nurture these small openings of awareness until they blossom into enduring peace. Imagine a single pine needle, intense green against the silver darkness. It grew imperceptibly, day by silent day, drawing nutrients from earth and sun until it reached toward the sky. No one marked its growth yet. There it stands, steady alive, wholly complete in its quiet presence. Such is your own unfolding. Each breath, each moment of mindful attention contributes to the slow, miraculous growth of genuine awakening. Recall the anecdote of the farmer who planted a single seed beneath the frozen ground. Through the long winter, he tended it faithfully, water, shelter, patience, never knowing if it would sprout. One spring, emerald shoots emerged, and by summer, a field of golden grain shimmered in the sun. In that patient care, you find hope that even the seemingly barren stretches of your mind can give rise to warmth and life when met with steadfast kindness. As you breathe, visualize that buried seed turning toward the warmth of your awareness. With each inhale, send nourishment, gentle curiosity, soft compassion into the hidden places of doubt or fear. With each exhale, clear away debris of distraction, making room for new growth. Feel how your chest softens, how your spine unwinds, how the scattered roots of tension retract into a single trunk of stillness. Outside, the nocturnal chorus shifts as a breeze stirs willow branches near a distant riverbank. Their slender leaves brush together in a soft staccato, creating a rhythm both unpredictable and harmonious. In their pattern, you discern the teaching of spontaneous order. Life's seeming chaos carries its own logic, each element responding to the whole. You too can trust in the inherent intelligence of being, knowing that when you release control, a deeper harmony arises. Invite your awareness to follow the willow's dance. Feel the invisible currents that guide their swaying. Notice how each movement arises from the breeze's unseen hand. As you rest in this flow, sense how your own thoughts shift from rigid opinions to supple curiosity, from noise to song. In that shift, you touch the wisdom of Wu Wei action, born of alignment, effortless, and complete. Now bring to mind the image of a pearl forming within an oyster layer upon iridescent layer, each deposit born from irritation but refined into luminous beauty. In the same way, every challenge you have faced has contributed to the lustrous depth of your being. What if you could view each difficulty not as a burden, but as a gift, an invitation to deepen your compassion, strengthen your resilience, and polish the jewel of your heart? As you inhale, gather the memory of past struggles and transform them into the pearl's gentle glow. As you exhale, release any lingering resentment or regret, feeling the hard edges smooth into curved radiance. Notice how your awareness feels warmer, more receptive, more alive. Rest now in this softened alchemy where breath and insight merge into one living flow. You are the oyster and the pearl, the breeze and the willow, the seed and the harvest. In this interwoven tapestry, every element supports the whole, and every breath becomes a prayer of gratitude for the simple miracle of being fully here. Allow this moment to carry you onward, deeper into the sanctuary of night, where sleep waits like a benevolent host, ready to receive you in its boundless embrace. A soft, resonant stillness fills your chest as you settle more deeply into the embrace of night. You feel the gentle rise of your diaphragm beneath your ribs, drawing life's quiet energy upward, and the tender release as air flows outward, carrying with it the residues of day. In this rhythm lies the teaching of continuous practice. Awakening isn't a single event, but the unfolding of awareness carried on the wings of countless breaths, each one a new opportunity to return home to yourself. Picture a field of tall grasses at dusk, their slender stems swaying in unison beneath a sky painted in molten indigo. The wind weaves through them, sometimes playful, sometimes insistent, yet the grasses bend in harmony, creating a living sea that ripples with grace. In their movement, you perceive the teaching of adaptive strength. True resilience is not rigidity, but the willingness to yield and flow to find your center, even as you move with life's shifting currents. You too can be that field flexible enough to bend with every breeze, yet rooted deep in the rich soil of presence. Recall the story of the blind monk who learned to navigate mountain trails by listening not to footsteps or voices, but to the subtle chorus of earth beneath his feet. Stones, shifting leaves, rustling wind, sighing through pines. Over time, he moved through the forest as surely as any sighted guide trusting the world's own song to show him the way. In that trust, you discover a profound invitation to let the world itself awaken your senses, guiding your own steps, rather than relying solely on the mind's maps and plans. As you breathe, invite your awareness into the subtle textures of your reclining body. Feel the warmth of your back against the mattress, the gentle weight of limbs melting into support the soft pressure of blankets at your shoulders. With each inhalation, draw in the world's tactile wisdom. With each exhalation, let go of the need to control or judge how the body feels. Notice how in this open receptivity sensation becomes its own meditation, a living gateway to the boundless clarity within. Outside, the nightingale's song drifts across the dark, its melody neither ornate nor urgent, but perfectly suited to the moment. In this simple song, you hear once again the teaching of authenticity. Every being expresses its unique note, and in doing so, enriches the whole. You too possess your own song, your breath, your heartbeat, your silent presence, and it matters that you let it sound without apology or reservation. Now, as the night deepens, imagine your awareness expanding beyond the body's confines, dissolving into the distant stars whose light has traveled for millennia to reach you. Each point of starlight becomes a reflection of your own luminous nature, timeless, vast, and unbound by any limitation. Feel how this cosmic perspective softens the weight of small worries, placing them within the grand dance of galaxies and aeons. In that vast field, your individual story rests lightly part of a tapestry woven on scales both intimate and infinite. Rest here a while longer, cradled by your breath, the grasses, the stars, the night's sonorous hush. There is no place you need to be, no state you need to achieve, only this gentle unraveling into the pure, simple reality of now. And as you drift between each inhalation and exhalation, you sense the threshold of sleep, drawing near an open doorway that requires no key but the willingness to surrender. Let the stillness carry you through, and know that in this boundless sanctuary, you are always held, always seen, always at peace. A gentle hush falls as the world beyond your eyelids fades into a soft blur, and you find yourself standing at the threshold between night and dawn, the horizon just beginning to glow with promise. In this liminal space lies the teaching of impermanence, and yet paradoxically, a quiet refuge that remains constant beneath all change. You, like the horizon, exist between what was and what will be fully present in the gentle unfolding of now. Imagine a brook that weaves through rocky terrain, its waters never the same from one moment to the next, yet carving a path that endures for centuries. A Zen master once invited his students to watch the brook's course, asking them to notice how the water acquires shape from every stone, yet remains fluid and free. The lesson was clear. Life's obstacles give form to the flow of your practice, but cannot hinder its deeper movement. As you envision that brook, feel your own breath, adapting to the contours of body and mind, moving around hardness, finding ease in every turn. Recall the tale of the fox and the jar. A fox, its snout stuck in a narrow vessel, struggled against its confines until it remembered the fruit that once filled the jar. With a sigh, it ate enough to free its head, then walked away in peace. In that simple parable lies the wisdom of letting go. We often cling so tightly to desires that we lose sight of freedom, forgetting that release can be found in small, deliberate acts of generosity toward ourselves. With each inhale, draw in the quiet courage of the fox as it embraced surrender. With each exhale, let go of any tightness that binds you, expectation, regret, or fear. Notice how your jaw softens, your shoulders drop, and a gentle openness blooms at your chest. In that space of unguarded ease, you touch the heart of non-attachment. To hold lightly is to hold lovingly, and to release is to remain holy. Above you, a solitary star flickers its light, undiminished by the vast darkness around it. In its steadfast glow lies the teaching of intrinsic worth, no matter how vast the night or how deep the silence, your presence shines with its own integrity. Let that star remind you that you are never truly lost in the expanse of mind. Your awareness is the guiding light that returns you again and again to here, to this breath, to this timeless sanctuary of peace. A soft, pearlescent light begins to glow at the edge of your vision, as though the night itself has drawn a breath before exhaling a subtle promise of dawn. You remain utterly still, feeling the curve of your spine as it meets the mattress, the gentle press of your body into the cool sheets. In this tender suspension between one breath and the next, you touch the teaching of interbeing. Each sensation, each thought arises through countless conditions, your bones the air, the bed beneath, and yet all dissolve again into the seamless flow of experience. You are both the river and its banks, inseparable in the great current of now. Imagine a windswept cliff overlooking the ocean at midnight. Dark waves break against rock in an endless rhythm, neither rushing nor pausing, their power born from the meeting of wind and water, moon and tide. On that cliff stands a lone pine, its needles aglow in silver light roots, clinging to crevices with steadfast tenacity. In this scene lies the middle way strength, flexible in adversity, rooted yet open to change. You too can embody this paradox, grounded in the simplicity of breath, while bending with the shifting currents of mind. Recall the Zen tale of the tea ceremony, where the host preparing for a single guest performed each gesture with meticulous care: the warming of the bowl, the whisking of matcha, the offering with 2 hands. Yet the guests, surprised by the host's gentle ritual, realized that the ceremony's true purpose was not the tea itself, but the depth of attention brought to each moment. In that mindful exchange, you glimpse the heart of practice. Presence transforms the ordinary into the sacred. As you inhale, sense the bowl's smooth surface forming in your mind. As you exhale, imagine the matcha swirling into a frothy whirlpool of calm. Feel how each gesture, real or imagined, awakens a bright clarity, polishing the mind until it glows like lacquered wood. Notice how in this gentle ritual of breath, the line between host, guest, and tea dissolves, leaving only the taste of pure awareness. Outside, the wind carries the distant toll of temple bells, each chime a wave of resonance that ripples through the air and into your chest. In their echo lies the teaching of dependent origination. Once more, sound arises from space, intention, and instrument, then returns to silence only to be reborn at the next strike. Your thoughts and feelings follow the same pattern, worthy of attention, yet never fixed, each dissolving into the stillness from which it came. Invite yourself to listen deeply to that ebb and flow of sound and silence. With each inhalation, draw the bell's clear tone into your heart. With each exhalation, release any tension that dulls its resonance. Feel how your entire being begins to vibrate softly with the bell's after sound, a gentle reminder that your presence matters even when no words are spoken. Now, bring to mind a fragile spider's web, heavy with morning dew, each droplet suspended in perfect balance, catching the first rays of sun. The web, though delicate, is resilient, its structure born from the spider's artistry and the supporting threads of wind and branch. In the same way, your awareness weaves a field of connection, delicate yet profound, linking every thought, sensation, and being in a shimmering network of interdependence. As you breathe, envision your mind as that dew-laden web, each inhalation adding a glistening bead of presence, each exhalation strengthening the delicate threads of compassion and awareness. Notice how the web holds its form through gentle tension, how every droplet reflects the light of countless perspectives, how emptiness and form coexist in seamless harmony. Feel the night's final invitation to rest here in this living web of silence and sound, light and shadow form, and emptiness. There is nowhere else to go, no task, to complete only the endless unfolding of this very moment. And as you yield to the hush, you discover that sleep is not a departure, but a continuation of this practice, a deep, unbroken dream of presence where every breath carries you further into the boundless mystery of your own being. A gentle hush settles over the horizon as the first slivers of dawn hesitate at the edge of night, painting the sky in muted hues of lavender and silver. You lie enveloped in this pre-dawn stillness, feeling the soft curve of your ribs rise with each inhale and the slow fall of your chest as you exhale, like the gentle rocking of ocean waves against an unseen shore. In this in-between hour lies the teaching of threshold awareness, neither fully night nor yet day. This moment reminds you that true presence exists beyond fixed categories in the fluid space where opposites meet and merge. Envision a solitary swan gliding across a glass-smooth lake at daybreak. Its movement is effortless, no frantic paddling, no flurry of wings, just a serene glide as if the water itself welcomes its passage. In that glide, you perceive the teaching of effortlessness when action arises from complete alignment with the moment. It carries both grace and purpose without strain. You too can move through life this way, guided by the silent intelligence of presence rather than the restless striving of the mind. Recall the tale of the bamboo flute carried by a traveling monk. One evening, he discovered a crack too small for sound to pass. Disappointed, he tried to mend it, but nothing worked. Finally, he let the flute be, and when he played, a hauntingly beautiful, ethereal tone emerged unlike any perfect note it had sung before. In embracing imperfection, he unlocked a new dimension of beauty. Your own perceived flaws and cracks are like that flute's fracture. When you accept them, they become gateways to deeper resonance and authenticity. As you breathe, feel the tensions you've held, physical, emotional, mental, soften and dissolve like mist in morning light. With each inhale, draw in the calm clarity of the dawn. With each exhale, release the tightness of expectation and doubt. Notice how the simplest act of breathing transforms into a living ceremony. Each cycle of air, both altar and offering, revealing the sacred in the ordinary. In the dim light, you hear the faint call of a loon somewhere in the distance, its solitary cry weaving through the quiet like an arrow of sound. In its solitude lies the teaching of authenticity. Every being's voice matters, no matter how lone or small, for it contributes to the majesty of the whole. You too carry a song unique to your life. Allow it to rise and fall without apology, trusting that even a single note can enrich the symphony of existence. Now draw your attention inward to the subtle glow at the center of your chest, the steady pulse of life that beats whether you notice or not. In that pulse lies the teaching of intrinsic worth. Independent of achievements or roles, your very existence radiates its own light. Feel how this inner luminescence warms your heart, softening any hardness accrued from the day's storms, reminding you that you are always worthy of care and kindness. Above the sky shifts from lavender to pale rose, the dawn chorus of birds stirring into song. Their collective melody carries the teaching of harmony. Each voice contributes its distinct timbre, yet together they create an orchestra of dawn that heralds renewal. Allow yourself to merge with this awakening song. Your breath, your heartbeat, your silent presence joining the chorus in seamless unity with the unfolding day. Rest now in this threshold space, neither clinging to the last thread of night nor reaching prematurely for the promise of day. Instead, abide in the delicate balance where transformation quietly blossoms. Here, every breath is both portal and path, guiding you through the liminal expanse with gentle precision. And as the first rays of sun touch your eyelids and the world brightens around you, know that the practice of presence, this sacred journey between breaths, carries on tender and unbroken into the light of a new morning. A soft breeze stirs at the edge of your awareness, carrying the subtle scent of jasmine that drifts from unseen gardens. You sense the gentle play between breath and fragrance, each inhalation weaving sensory threads into the tapestry of your present moment. In this delicate interplay lies the teaching of interbeing scent and air body and world inseparable in the dance of experience. You too are both observer and observed, inhaling the world even as it breathes through you. Imagine a silent courtyard bathed in moonlight, where carved stone lanterns stand guard like silent sentinels. A single flower rests at the base of one lantern, a simple bloom, its petals unfurled in quiet grace. A Zen monk once paused there, and without touching the flower, offered a silent bow. His gesture was not worship, but recognition that beauty needs no adornment, only the open heart to receive it. In that bow, you find the essence of mindfulness presence as an act of deep respect for each unfolding miracle. As you inhale, draw the jasmine's sweetness into your cells. As you exhale, offer your own gratitude to the night's gentle mystery. Notice how this simple exchange dissolves all barriers between self and other. There is no giver or receiver, only the seamless flow of life's breath. Above you, the slow drift of clouds veils the moon in shifting veils of silver and shadow. In their silent drift lies the teaching of impermanence no shape endures, yet each moment of transformation carries its own beauty. You too can let go of the need for permanence, allowing thoughts, emotions, and sensations to arise and pass like clouds across the sky of your mind. Invite your awareness to rest in the open expanse beyond the clouds where the moon's gentle glow transcends form. What remains when the clouds dissolve, when every label falls away? In that boundless clarity, you touch the luminous heart of reality, ever present, ever new, and wholly free of grasping. A distant chant drifts on the air, a single syllable repeated with unwavering devotion. In its cadence lies the teaching of devotion to presence itself, to return again and again to this breath, this moment, this sacred silence. You are both the chanter and the chant, the sound and the space in which it arises. Feel the chant's resonance vibrating through you, aligning every cell with the still center of being. With each breath, deepen your commitment to this simple practice, to rest in presence, to witness without interference, to allow the night's soft wisdom to cradle you ever deeper into peace. And here, in this luminous hush, you are at home, held by the jasmine's fragrance, guided by the moon's glow, enraptured by the chant's echo. Let this sanctuary of awareness carry you forward seamlessly into the embrace of sleep, where each breath becomes a stepping stone on the pathless path of awakening. A soft, almost imperceptible hum of energy fills the air as the world around you begins to stir with the earliest signs of morning, though the night's embrace still lingers in gentle shadows. You sense the boundary between sleep and wakefulness, thinning each breath, a delicate thread, weaving together the realms of dream and presence. In this threshold moment lies the teaching of mindful transition, to move from one state to another without clinging to what is past or grasping for what awaits, but simply to flow like water, slipping naturally from one pool to the next. Envision a quiet mountain monastery perched on a mist-enshrouded crest. Monks' robes brushing stone floors proceed in silent procession to greet the dawn. Each step is placed with mindful care, neither hurried nor hesitant, an embodiment of balance. In their movement, you perceive the essence of the middle way, the union of effort and ease in tension and receptivity, presence and movement. You too can carry your own transitions with this same grace, letting each breath guide you forward without resistance. Recall the anecdote of the novice who struggled to keep his eyes open during morning chanting. He asked his teacher for a remedy, only to be instructed simply to sing the chant within his heart rather than with his mouth. Surprised, the student tried and found that internal melody awakened his spirit far more than any external sound. In that subtle shift, you recognize that true wakefulness arises from an inner source. The body may be still, but the heart can sing fully awake even as the eyelids grow heavy. As you inhale, feel the inner chant rise, soft, wordless, radiant, filling every corner of your being with vibrant alertness. As you exhale, allow the outer world to recede into gentle background hum, trusting that the inner music will continue to guide you. Notice how attention naturally settles into deep listening, perceiving the subtlest currents of sensation and thought without the need to grasp or push them away. Outside your inner vision, the distant call of a nightingale blends with the whisper of rustling leaves, composing a nocturne of living sound. In their interplay lies the teaching of interdependence. Each bird and leaf contributes its voice to the larger composition, and yet each is complete in itself. You too are both soloist and ensemble, your breath and heartbeat solo voices woven into the grand symphony of existence. What melody arises when you listen fully to the breath's phrasing, to the chest's rise and fall, to the silence between each note? Invite a moment of deep curiosity. What sensations, images, or emotions surface when you turn full attention inward? Perhaps a subtle warmth near the heart, a soft tingling at the crown of the head, or an echo of distant memories. Attend to these without judgment, as you would observe clouds drifting across an open sky. Each is a visitor, welcome seen and allowed to pass. In this spacious observation, you touch the teaching of non-attachment. Freedom arises not from rejecting experience, but from welcoming it all, then releasing it without clinging. In the hush that follows, imagine a single dewdrop perched delicately on a bamboo leaf, reflecting the entire cosmos in miniature. That drop neither clings to the leaf nor seeks to fall. It simply rests in perfect equilibrium until the sun's warmth calls it home. You too can be that dewdrop, reflecting all that appears, neither holding on to the past nor anticipating the future, but dwelling fully in the crystalline clarity of now. As your breath continues, its steady cadence, feel a gentle glow emanate from the center of your chest, expanding outward like ripples on a still pond. This warmth is compassion in motion, an ever-present light that neither wanes nor flickers in response to circumstances. With each inhale, gather its glow. With each exhale, extend it outward, bathing every thought, every cell, and every corner of this gentle world in soft radiance. Notice how this inner light dissolves the shadows of fear and doubt, revealing the underlying wholeness that has always been there. Above, the first rays of dawn begin to filter through the lattice of trees, each beam a slender finger, painting the forest floor in strokes of gold. In that light, you perceive the teaching of impermanence and renewal. The night gives way to day darkness, to illumination, each cycle complete in itself, yet never the same as before. You too participate in this eternal flow. Each breath, a tiny death and rebirth. Each moment, both ending and beginning. What if you could greet every breath as a fresh sunrise, unburdened by what came before, unafraid of what may follow? Rest now in this luminous awakening, cradled by the breath that has guided you across the boundary between night and dawn. There is no need to rush into the day, no obligation to leave this sacred in-between space. Instead, allow your awareness to expand until it contains the whole panorama of sky and earth, dream and wakefulness, and gently dissolves the sense of a separate self. Here, in the boundless field of presence, you find the true junction of rest and wakefulness, a living sanctuary that remains accessible through each breath, each step, each quiet moment. And as the golden light grows stronger, you carry this sanctuary within, knowing that no matter where you go, the pathless path of awareness remains your constant companion, steady, gentle, and always here, guiding you toward deeper peace and restful renewal. The dawn light deepens, spilling gold across the world. As you remain cradled in stillness, your body soft and unmoving, yet your awareness alive and luminous. In this quiet sanctuary, between sleep and wakefulness, you touch the teaching of non-doing wu-wei, where the gentlest action arises from total receptivity. You need not strive to awaken. The morning light finds you as effortless as sunlight slipping through a lattice window. Imagine yourself stepping barefoot onto cool wooden floorboards, each plank warmed by the night's lingering breath. A single drop of condensation glints on the rim of a teacup waiting on a low table. You reach out, lift the cup, and bring it to your lips. The tea's warmth spills across your tongue, its fragrance unfurling like a lotus opening at first light. In that simple ritual lies the teaching of mindfulness. Every ordinary gesture becomes sacred when performed with full attention. You remember the Zen master who walked daily to gather water from a nearby spring. He carried a heavy bucket, yet never once spilled a single drop, because he poured his whole mind into each step, each lift, each pour. The disciples watched in wonder, until one day the master said, "The water never leaves the bucket, when mind and body are united. In that unity, you see that presence is not separate from action, but flows through it like the spring's cool current. As you inhale, savor the warmth of the tea and the texture of the cup against your palm. As you exhale, let the sweetness of acceptance fill your chest, dissolving any last tendrils of resistance. Notice how the boundary between you and the world blurs, how your senses become gates into the vastness of now. Outside, a single sparrow alights on the windowsill, its chest puffed with silent song. In its delicate frame lies the teaching of resilience, fragile yet spirited. It greets the morning with fearless song, despite the weight of night's cold. You too can greet each new moment with that courage, knowing your heart can sing even after darkness. Invite your mind to rest on the sparrow's song. What tone arises within you when you listen fully, without judgment, without expectation? Perhaps you discover a quiet vibrato of hope or a gentle trill of gratitude. Whatever you hear, know it is your own voice echoing the song of life. Now, bring to mind the image of a mist rising from a still lake at dawn, swirling in spirals that dissolve as quickly as they form. In their dance lies the teaching of impermanence. Every shape, every thought, every feeling emerges and vanishes in the same breath. You watch the mist without grasping, without pushing it away, simply marveling at its ephemeral beauty. With each inhale, invite in the lake's cool clarity. With each exhale, send back your own warm breath, mingling with the mist until you and the air become one. Feel how this union loosens the grip of time, placing you in a fluid present that knows no hurry, no regret, only the luminous unfolding of each moment. A distant temple bell tolls once more, its resonance carried on currents of air until it settles gently in your bones. In that tone, you recognize the teaching of dependent origination sound, and silence knower and known arise together and dissolve together in a seamless whole. Your breath and the bell's echo are inseparable waves on the same pond of awareness. Rest here in the interplay of light and shadow sound, and silence form and emptiness. There is no transition left to make only the continuous flow of presence, welcoming each new breath as both beginning and end. And as you gently set your teacup down, you carry this serene alchemy within, ready to greet the day with a heart open, a mind clear, and a spirit at ease, ever guided by the simple wisdom of being fully here. A hush settles in your bones as the world beyond the window comes alive with the soft stirrings of morning bird song, each note a droplet of light splashing onto the shore of your awareness. You lie still, sensing the gentle echo of the day's first breath moving through your chest, a silent accord between body and world. In this delicate concord lies the teaching of dependent, co-arising. Every sound, every sensation emerges from a web of causes, air, feather, time, and tension, and returns to silence only to be reborn at the next moment. You too are woven into this tapestry, both singer and song observer and observed. Imagine a dew-laden meadow at dawn's edge. Each blade of grass holds a tiny prism refracting the pink and gold of sunrise like a murmured blessing. A solitary hare pauses at the meadow's rim, ears pricked, inhaling the world with acute attention before bounding away into shadowed fields. In that fleeting stillness, you perceive the teaching of mindfulness to touch the world with undivided presence, allowing every cell of your being to resonate with life's subtle magnificence. Recall the Zen parable of the master who bade his student to carry a single pebble in her hand through the forest. She did so all day, feeling its weight in every step. At dusk, she returned to find the master waiting. He asked, "Where is the pebble now?" She realized that the stone had never left her grasp, not physically, but in her mind. Every thought pulled her back to its weight. The master smiled and said, "Mind and object are not two. Free yourself by laying down both." In that moment, you glimpse the heart of non-attachment release arises when you see that nothing and no one is truly separate from the field of awareness. As you breathe, imagine setting down that pebble, every worry, every fear, every longing, placing them gently on the soft earth of the present moment. Feel the lightness that follows. Muscles unclench heart, softens mind, opens like an empty sky, ready to receive clouds of infinite possibility. With each exhale, offer back the weight you've carried. With each inhale, welcome the spacious clarity that remains. Outside, the mellow toll of temple bells drifts once more, its resonance weaving through your spine and settling into the quiet halls behind your eyes. In their aftersound, you discern the teaching of emptiness form. An echo arise together, yet neither holds substance apart from the other. Thoughts, too, are like these echoes, temporary vibrations across the field of silence. Notice how even as they arise, a deeper stillness underlies them all, untouched and expansive. Invite your awareness into that stillness. Rest here a while, cradled by the convergence of sound and silence, breath and pause. Let your mind become like a lotus leaf on the water's surface, open, receptive, yet untouched by the waves that pass beneath. What remains when you abide in that open space? In this serene frontier, you discover the luminous core of being a boundless sanctuary, where every atom of life converges and dissolves, where birth and death, joy and sorrow chant, and stillness all unite in seamless harmony. And as the dawn light strengthens around you, know that this sanctuary need never fade. It travels with you, hidden in the cadence of your breath, ready to be awakened. Whenever you pause, listen, and remember the simple truth: you are here fully alive and endlessly home. A soft warmth begins to rise from the base of your spine, as though a hidden hearth has quietly ignited its glow, spreading through every cell of your being. You lie here, wrapped in the gentle hush of early morning senses, attuned to the subtle currents that flow beneath the surface of ordinary perception. In this warmth lies the teaching of interdependence. Each spark of comfort you feel arises from the meeting of mind-body-breath and the invisible support of Earth itself. You are both the hearth and the flame, inseparable in the dance of vitality. Imagine a monk seated by a mountain spring, cupping water in his bowl each dawn. He lifts the bowl to his lips, drinks, and then with the same bowl pours water to cleanse his feet. One morning, a disciple asked, "Why wash your feet after drinking?" The master smiled gently and replied, "Because the water that sustains me also nurtures the path I walk." In that simple act, you glimpse the unity of service and nourishment. What gives life is also meant to be shared, and every gift you receive flows through you to bless the world. As you breathe, Feel that same water flowing through your veins. Each heartbeat, a pulse of gratitude. Each breath, a wave of compassion. With every inhale, draw in the deep kindness of existence. With every exhale, send that kindness outward, whether in thought, word, or silent blessing. Notice how this reciprocal exchange transforms the lone act of breathing into a living river of generosity. Outside, the wind rustles a stand of bamboo, their tall stalks swaying in a silent question and answer. In their motion lies the teaching of responsiveness. Bamboo yields to the wind's force, yet never fractures, returning upright when the breeze subsides. You too can bend with life's demands, feeling adapting, and then returning to your center of calm strength. Recall the parable of the hollow gourd. A wandering sage carried water in a dried, hollowed gourd, which clove to his side, held only by the current it contained. One evening, a curious child asked why the sage smiled at the gourd's shape. He answered, "In its emptiness, there is the capacity to hold water. In your own emptiness lies infinite potential. In that empty vessel, you see the paradox of form and emptiness. By letting go of fixed ideas, you open space for wisdom to flow." Invite your mind now to become like that gourd, hollow enough to receive each moment's freshness, yet sturdy enough to carry its contents wherever you go. As you inhale, sense your openness expanding. As you exhale, release any residue of judgment or preconception. Notice how this interior space fills effortlessly with the quiet joy of simply being. A single bird begins its morning call in the distance, its note ringing clear and unwavering through the gathering light. In its song, you hear the teaching of authenticity. Each creature sings its own song, and in doing so, harmonizes with the chorus of life. You too possess a voice beyond words. Your breath, your heartbeat, the silent presence that you carry. Allow that song to rise within you, unguarded and sincere. As the bird's call ebbs, you become aware of the boundary between in-breath and out-breath, dissolving into a seamless flow. In this continuity lies the teaching of impermanence. Each inhalation becomes exhalation in an unbroken cycle, reminding you that change is the very fabric of existence. What if you could meet each transformation not with fear, but with curiosity, watching every shift as a ripple on the ever-flowing stream of now? Feel the gentle eddies of sensation swirl through your body, the softness of sheets against your skin, the echo of your bones' subtle alignment, the hush that unfolds within each silent pause. These ripples are not disturbances, but invitations to notice, to feel, and then to let be. In that letting be, you find the spacious heart of mindfulness, where every phenomenon is recognized as both fleeting and precious. Now, bring to mind a lotus rising through muddy water to bloom. Its roots delve into obscurity, yet its flower unfolds pristine above the surface. In that emergence lies the teaching of transformation. Even the densest conditions can give rise to clarity and beauty. Your own challenges, doubts, and shadows have been the fertile ground from which your inner light has grown. As you breathe, imagine that light pulsing at your core, a lantern tended by each kind thought and each compassionate act. With every inhale, nourish that lamp. With every exhale, remove any smothering ash of self-criticism. Notice how its glow brightens your awareness, casting soft illumination into the hidden corners of mind and heart. Rest here a moment in this merged field of warmth, breathing, and light, held by the world even as you hold it in return. There is no separation between giver and gift, between observer and observed. There is only the open path of interbeing, where every step, every breath, every act of kindness is both an arrival and a departure. And in this boundless embrace, you are home, forever carried by the infinite compassion that dwells in every breath. A soft, resonant hush settles over you, as though the earth itself has paused to honor your presence. You lie nestled between dream and waking, each breath a gentle tide drawing you deeper into the luminous sanctuary of now. In this place between breaths, you touch the teaching of threshold awareness, the space that holds both sleep and wakefulness, form and emptiness, opening without effort to embrace all that arises. Imagine a lantern-lit garden at the edge of dawn, where dew-kissed blossoms unfurl in silence and ancient stone lanterns stand sentinel among mossy paths. A lone gardener moves in measured steps, tending each bloom with reverent care, watering roots, brushing away fallen petals, whispering a silent blessing. In his every gesture, you perceive the teaching of wholehearted attention. When mind and hand unite, even the simplest act becomes sacred. You too can honor each breath like that gardener tending the flowers, curious, kind, fully here. Recall the Zen story of the tea ceremony performed beneath a blossoming cherry tree. As petals drift on the breeze, the host pours steaming tea into a single cup. He then pauses, inhaling the fragrance of blossoms mingling with the tea's aroma. Only after he has tasted the cup himself does he offer it to his guest, who bows in deep gratitude, understanding that true generosity arises from the willingness to partake before giving. In that reciprocal exchange, you glimpse the heart of compassion, the readiness to receive your own care, so that you may share it freely with others. As you inhale, now draw in the floral sweetness of that cherry blossom tea. As you exhale, imagine sending its warmth through every nerve ending, softening tension and opening the heart's refuge. Notice how your breath becomes both ritual and refuge, a living vessel, carrying tenderness within and extending it outward. Outside the garden's edge, you hear the distant rush of a mountain stream, its waters tumbling over stone in a relentless melody of movement and rest. In that ceaseless flow lies the teaching of impermanence. No current remains the same, yet the stream's essence endures. You, like the water, can release what has passed and welcome what arrives, trusting that every change is a note in life's continuous symphony. Invite your awareness to flow like that stream fluid, adaptive, free from the damming of expectation. Feel how every thought and feeling moves through you, each one acknowledged and then allowed to continue its journey. In this gentle letting go, you discover the boundless reservoir of calm that underlies every torrent of sensation. Now, bring to mind the image of a solitary crane standing on one leg beside a still pond at dawn. Its posture is steadfast, yet the slightest shift in weight draws water's mirrored reflection into a dance of light and shape. In that elegant balance, you find the teaching of equanimity, unwavering presence paired with responsive ease. You too can stand like the crane, rooted in the deep well of awareness, while responding with grace to life's subtle movements. As you continue to breathe, feel your spine lengthen like a crane's neck, upright, yet relaxed, each vertebra aligned in quiet dignity. Let your head balance effortlessly, neither tilted forward in worry, nor thrown back in tension, but poised in the centering stillness of pure being. Above a single petal, drifts from the cherry tree landing on the pond's surface with scarcely a ripple. In that silent descent, you perceive the teaching of mindful release. Each moment of letting go creates the conditions for a deeper landing into calm. You too can release the weight of stories that no longer serve you, expectations, judgments, regrets, allowing them to fall away like petals on water. Rest here now in the gentle convergence of breath, blossom, bird, and stream. Notice how the boundaries between self and world soften the garden, the gardener, the cup of tea, the crane, the stream, the petal on water, all part of one unfolding tapestry of presence. And as you abide in this seamless web of awareness, you realize that sleep is not an escape, but a continuation of this practice, a deepening immersion into the vast compassionate field of being that cradles every breath, every heartbeat, every living moment. A gentle hush settles as the first bird of dawn sings its lonely note, resonating through the silent corridors of your mind. You remain still, feeling the soft warmth of your breath unfurling in your chest like a silk ribbon, each inhale gathering the tenderness of morning light, each exhale releasing the last threads of night's shadow. In this intimate dance between breath and daybreak lies the teaching of interbeing. The song you hear arises from wind and wing, from sky and earth, and from your own open heart, inseparable and whole. Imagine a secluded grove where sunlight filters through ancient pines, creating dappled patterns on the carpet of needles below. At its center stands a simple wooden bench, worn smooth by the countless souls who have paused there to rest. A Zen monk once sat upon that bench for a week, without moving, surrendering entirely to the forest's rhythms, observing how ants carried grains of sand, how leaves drifted in silent pirouettes, how shafts of light danced upon spider silk. In his stillness, he discovered the forest's heartbeat and his own as one continuous pulse. As you inhale, now draw that forest rhythm into your bones, steady, unhurried, alive. As you exhale, let the world's quiet vitality flow back through you, renewing every cell. Notice how your presence becomes both observer and participant, how the boundary between self and setting softens into a single field of awareness. What emerges when you rest here, fully receptive to life's subtle symphony? A thin mist rises from a nearby stream, swirling around mossy rocks like ethereal dancers. In its motion lies the teaching of impermanence. The mist never lingers, yet each swirl reflects the light of dawn, gifting the world with fleeting beauty. You too can welcome change without clinging, allowing each sensation, each emotion, each thought to swirl through you and then dissolve, leaving behind the clear air of presence. Recall the tale of the potter who, after years of crafting perfect vessels, finally shattered each one to pieces, only to discover the clay's true purpose lay in formlessness, the fertile earth from which all shapes arise. In that radical acceptance of emptiness, he found the freedom to create anew. Your own mind, when freed from fixation on shape or story, becomes the open clay of possibility, ready for each fresh breath to mold its gentle contours. Invite yourself now into that open clay. With each breath, soften the edges of thought until the mind feels malleable, receptive to whatever arises. What space opens when you release your grip on certainty, allowing curiosity to shape the moment? Above, the lone bird sings again, its melody weaving through the trees like a silver thread. In its persistence lies the teaching of devotion. A single note repeated with unwavering faith can awaken the world. You too can anchor your practice in such devotion, returning again and again to the breath, the body, the rhythm of your own song. Rest here in the mist-dappled grove of dawn, held by the convergence of light and shadow, sound and silence, form and emptiness. And as the morning deepens and the world around you stirs, know that in this sanctuary of presence you carry the seeds of peace, ready to blossom at every breath, every step, every living moment. A soft stillness wraps around you like a familiar cloak as the world awakens in muted hues of dawn, and you become aware of the gentle pulsing of life beneath your skin, the quiet thrum of your own heart, a steady drumbeat guiding you inward. In this tender pause lies the teaching of basic goodness beneath all layers of thought and feeling. There exists an innate purity, untouched by circumstance or story. You are that basic goodness, radiant and complete, even as the mind weaves its tapestry of judgment and desire. Imagine a moss-covered stone bench at the edge of a hidden glade, where ferns unfurl in spiral patterns, and the air carries the scent of damp earth and ancient roots. A lone novice sits there each morning before sunrise, brushing the tips of the ferns with reverent fingertips, learning to feel their subtle life. One day, his teacher asked, "What did you learn from the ferns?" The novice replied, "Their patience, they open only when conditions are right, without hurry or force." In that gentle revelation, you see the harmony of timing, each unfolding in your own mind, and body happens at exactly the right moment, neither before nor after, but in the perfect alignment of causes. As you inhale now, feel your own patience arising, an unhurried acceptance of where you are free from the pull of regret or the tug of expectation. As you exhale, release any tightness around the future, trusting that the inner springs of wisdom flow precisely when called. Notice how this soft trust loosens the grip of tension in your shoulders and softens the knot of thought at your brow. Outside, the first rays of sun pierce through the canopy, illuminating drifting motes of pollen that float like tiny lanterns in the hush. In their gentle dance lies the teaching of dependent co-arising. Each mote glows only because of light air and the unseen life of countless blossoms. You too shine because of infinite conditions, your breath, your cells, the love and care that brought you here. And this interwoven brilliance is nothing short of miraculous. Recall the story of the empty willow flute. A wandering monk found an abandoned flute carved from willow wood, battered and cracked. Resigning himself to its silence, he placed it beneath a willow tree and watched as the breeze wove through its hollow, conjuring a wind song more haunting than any human melody. In that magic, you glimpse the mystery of emptiness. Spaces of seeming lack can become channels for wonder if only you invite the wind of awareness to play. Invite that wind now. Feel it ripple across the landscape of your mind, turning stagnant pools of thought into swift currents of clarity. With each inhale, welcome the breeze's fresh energy. With each exhale, let it carry away the residues of fatigue and doubt. A soft murmur of temple bells drifts through the glade, their resonance weaving into the dawn chorus of birdsong and rustling leaves. In their combined melody lies the teaching of harmony, diverse voices, each with its own timbre, joining in a living prayer that heralds the new day. You too are a unique voice, your breath, your heartbeat, your silent presence, and in offering them fully, you enrich the song of life itself. Rest here a moment longer, cradled by the glade's hush and the morning's light. Notice how the boundary between inner and outer dissolves the bench, the ferns, the monk, the flute, the breeze, the bells all arise within your awareness and return to it again. And as you settle into this seamless field of presence, know that the journey home to the vast sanctuary of your true nature has no distance to travel. It unfolds with every breath here and now, perfectly in time with the dawn. A hush, like velvet, settles around you once more, and you sense the gentle undulation of your breath as it flows in and out, an unbroken wave that carries you deeper into the sanctuary of presence. In this ever-renewing tide lies the teaching of interbeing. Each inhalation draws in air born of ancient forests and ocean currents. Each exhalation returns that same breath to the earth, weaving your life into the vast continuum of all things. You are not separate from the sky you breathe or the earth you rest upon. You are both the wave and the ocean in perpetual communion. Imagine a hidden grotto behind a waterfall, where shimmering veils of water part to reveal a quiet cavern lit only by shafts of stray sunlight. Within that secret haven, ferns cling to damp stone, and a cool spring bubbles from the depths, offering refreshment without request. A solitary monk once discovered this grotto after years of searching for the perfect place to meditate. When he entered, he found no grand altar or polished floor, only the raw, living mystery of water and stone. In that unadorned beauty, he realized that the perfect place had been with him all along. Wherever awareness dwells fully, there is sanctuary. As you breathe, now recall that grotto's soft hush. With each inhalation, feel the cool, crystalline water of clarity flowing through your mind. With each exhalation, release any cravings for comfort or control, letting them tumble away like pebbles carried downstream. Notice how beneath the chatter of thoughts, there lies a deep stillness, an unspoiled chamber of awareness that requires no decoration, only the simple gift of attention. Outside the grotto's imagined walls, rain begins to fall in gentle sheets, each drop a tiny drumbeat on the cavern's roof. In its cadence lies the teaching of impermanence. No two drops land in the same place, and yet the rain's melody remains continuous, neither beginning nor ending. You too can welcome each moment, bright or somber, as it falls, knowing that every experience dissolves into the next, in an endless flow of becoming. Invite your awareness to rest in the space between raindrops, that pregnant pause where silence blooms. What remains when the sound subsides? In that silent field, you discover the luminous ground of being unchanged by the patterns of rain or thought open and free. A soft glow appears at the grotto's mouth as the clouds begin to part, revealing a lone heron waiting in the shallows beyond the cascade. It lifts its head, long neck curved like calligraphy, and lets forth a single clear call that ripples across the pool. In that solitary cry, you hear the teaching of authenticity. Each life has its unique song, and courage arises when we let it sound unguarded. You too possess that voice. Let it emerge in every breath, every step, every silence. Now draw your attention to the gentle warmth that radiates from the core of your being, as if the very heart of the grotto itself glows within your chest. This warmth is the ember of compassion kindled by each moment of mindful presence. With every inhale, tend this ember with the breath's soft fuel. With every exhale, extend its glow outward, offering kindness to yourself and to the world you hold in awareness. Recall the Zen parable of the two monks caught in a storm stranded in a cave. One monk lamented their plight, fretting over the wind's howl and the rain's battering. The other simply sat in silence, feeling the cave's shelter and listening to the storm's symphony. After the storm passed, the first monk trembled with relief. The second rose calm and radiant, having discovered that refuge lies not in fleeing hardship, but in receiving the moment fully. In that receiving, you find your true shelter, the open heart that transforms every storm into a teacher. As the rain eases and the heron takes flight into the widening sky, you sense a soft breeze whispering through the cavern, carrying petals of wildflowers from the meadow beyond. Each petal drifts across your vision, a reminder of dependent origination, flower wind, heron grotto, all conditions converging in this single unfolding moment. You too are part of that convergent cell's breath, thought, and world momentarily aligned in fleeting harmony. Rest here now, cradled by the grotto's hush and the heron's echo, the rain's release, and the petals drift. There is no path to follow, no destination to reach, only the seamless unfolding of presence, each breath a bead on the endless strand of awareness. And as you lie suspended between stone and sky water, and wind dream and wakefulness, know that this sanctuary endures within you, an ever-accessible refuge where the simple act of being is both prayer and home. A soft hush settles into every fiber of your being as the cavern's ancient stones absorb the final echoes of the heron's cry and the rain's release. You lie cradled between earth and air, feeling the slow, unfurling rise of your belly with each inhale and the gentle return as you exhale. In this effortless cycle lies the teaching of natural ease Ziran, where doing and non-doing merge, and each breath carries the wisdom of the universe without strain or agenda. Imagine moss-clad rocks lining the grotto's inner walls, their emerald tufts sprouting from tiny crevices, where water drips in crystalline threads. Over centuries, that single drop has carved channels deeper into the stone, a silent testament to the power of patience and persistence. The Zen master, who first discovered this place, spoke of the strength of gentleness, reminding his students that even the softest water given time can wear away the hardest rock. You too can trust in the slow transformation that arises from steady mindfulness, the subtle shifts that over time reveal profound change. As you inhale, now bring to mind the image of those patient drops, imagining each intake of breath as a droplet of clarity pooling in the still chamber of your mind. With every exhale, allow tension to trickle away, returning to the earth, like spent water absorbed into stone. Notice how with consistent attention, the channels of your awareness deepen, guiding you into ever more spacious calm. Outside the grotto's mouth, sunlight dances on the surface of the river, beyond casting sparkling patterns onto the high walls. In that play of light lies the teaching of form and emptiness. The river's surface appears solid in the shimmer, yet beneath flows endless currents you cannot see. Similarly, each thought or emotion you encounter may seem concrete, yet at its heart lies the open expanse of pure awareness. You are both the glittering pattern and the still current, ever shifting, yet ever the same. Recall the story of the sculptor who discovered a statue hidden within a block of marble only after years of chiseling away fragments. The stone resisted his tools at first, but with patient strokes, he revealed the form that lay within all along. In that tale, you see the practice of self-inquiry. Each mindful moment chips away misconceptions until your true nature shines forth untouched by the impermanence of passing thoughts. Feel the soft chiseling of awareness at work within you. With each breath, notice one lingering thought or worry, observe its shape, and then release it back into the river of consciousness. In that gentle letting go, the contours of your true self emerge shining silent and whole. What remains when all labels peel away? When every concept dissolves into clear presence? A distant breeze stirs the overhead foliage, carrying the scent of pine resin and wild jasmine into the grotto's cool air. In that aromatic arrival lies the teaching of interbeing. Fragrance exists only through the union of flower, sun, and wind. Just as your own presence arises from countless conditions, genes, upbringing, the breath you draw. You are both unique and woven into the vast fabric of existence, inseparable from the living world. Now, bring your attention to the warmth blossoming at your heart center, a soft ember kindled by each compassionate intention and each moment of mindful rest. With every inhale, let this ember glow brighter. With every exhale, allow its warmth to radiate through your limbs, suffusing each fingertip and toe. Notice how this inner fire neither burns nor consumes, but illuminates, guiding you deeper into the sanctuary within. Above you, shafts of light begin to pierce the grotto's roof in slender beams, illuminating motes of dust that drift in slow spirals, tiny dancers in the sacred hall of silence. Each speck, caught in the beam, glows golden, reminding you that even the smallest aspect of experience can become a luminous jewel when held in the light of awareness. As you rest here, suspended in this interplay of dust and light, know that every facet of your being, thoughts, sensations, hopes, fears, can shine when invited into presence. Rest now in this luminous stillness, where breath and silence entwine, where stone and water, light and shadow each reveal facets of the same timeless truth. There is nowhere to go, nothing to achieve, only the unbroken continuum of awareness that carries you moment by moment into the boundless depths of your own being. And as you lie, enveloped in this gentle embrace, you realize that the path to awakening is neither distant nor complex. It unfolds in the simple, sacred act of returning again and again to the breath, to the heartbeat, to the luminous now that is your ever-present home. A hush, deeper than memory, settles over you as the first golden threads of dawn weave through the grotto's opening, casting the stones in a gentle glow. You lie perfectly still, sensing the steady cadence of your own pulse, a silent annotation to the unfolding light. In this convergence of inner rhythm and outer illumination lies the teaching of seamless unity, breath and bloodstone, and sun self and world all arise together, inseparable facets of the same radiant jewel. Imagine a single drop of water sliding down the cavern's mossy wall, tracing a path worn smooth by countless predecessors. That drop carries the wisdom of all who came before each one, adding to the channel, shaping its course through quiet persistence. In its journey, you perceive the teaching of lineage practice is not born anew in each moment, but flows from the currents of generations, teachers, trees, stones, and your own silent lineage of breath and being. You too are part of that lineage, a living vessel for timeless wisdom. As you inhale, imagine drawing in the collective echoes of every mindful moment that has ever been lived. As you exhale, feel their resonance steadying your heart, linking you to the unbroken chain of wakefulness that spans aeons. Notice how this deep connection loosens any knot of isolation, reminding you that your practice carries the weight of countless tender hands guiding you home. Outside the sparrow, you heard earlier, alights on a stalactite, its tiny claws gripping the ancient stone. It pauses head cocked to listen, then lets forth a trill that rings clear in the hush. In that simple song lies the teaching of simplicity. No adornment, no flourish, just the pure articulation of being exactly as it is. You too can let your practice be unadorned, speaking truth through each breath, each moment of silent attention. Recall the legend of the midnight lantern, carried by a hermit through a mountain pass so dark that not even shadows could be distinguished. Yet the hermit never feared, for in the lantern's solitary glow, he discovered that true light needs no companion. In that solitary clarity, you find the courage to rest in your own inner fire. Even when the world around you sleeps, your presence shines forth as its own beacon. Invite that lantern's flame to glow within your chest. Feel its gentle warmth painting every chamber of your heart with calm assurance. With each inhale, tend its wick with kindness. With each exhale, shield it from doubt and despair. Notice how this inner fire neither consumes nor flickers, but stands as a steady companion, your quiet guide through every shadowed corridor of mind. A distant murmur of chanting drifts into the grotto, low and resonant, weaving itself into the tapestry of dawn. In those repeated syllables, you hear the teaching of devotion. Repeated attention, sustained over time, gently carves a path through the noise of distraction, straight into the sanctuary of presence. You too can devote yourself to this simple act, returning again and again to the breath, to the heartbeat, to the luminous now. Above the mist that once veiled the entrance lifts in a slow spiral, revealing the world beyond a grove of pines, mist-kissed meadows, and the promise of a new day's walk. In that unveiling lies the teaching of revelation. Though the path may have felt hidden beneath the weight of night, dawn's gentle persistence always uncovers the way. You too carry that promise, each breath a step toward clarity, each moment a portal into the open. Rest now in this unfolding light, cradled by the steady pulse of your own presence and the golden promise of dawn. There is nothing to carry forward, nothing to leave behind, only the seamless flow of awareness, carrying you from one luminous moment into the next. And as the world beyond the grotto stirs to life, know that your inner sanctuary remains ever accessible, a boundless refuge of calm and clarity that lives within each gentle breath. A soft chorus of dawn birdsong drifts into the grotto, their melodies weaving a delicate lattice of sound that cradles your awareness like a cradle of light. You remain still, feeling the tender swell and release of your breath, each cycle illuminating the vast interior landscape of your being. In this harmonious interplay lies the teaching of symbiosis. Every note and silence, breath and stillness coalesce into a resonant whole, each element sustained by all the others in a living chorus of presence. Imagine rays of early sunlight filtering through the grotto's mouth, casting slender pillars of light that dance upon the rippling surface of the inner spring. In their embrace, you perceive the teaching of form, and clarity light gives shape to water's contours, and water reflects the light's brilliance in endless variation. You too can embody this duality, bringing clarity to every facet of experience and allowing that clarity to mirror back the luminous truth of each moment. Recall the story of the hermit who lived atop a solitary peak, sustained by nothing but morning dew and moonlit silence. He sat each dawn beside a simple bowl, catching droplets as they fell, savoring each one as though it contained the essence of the world. One whispered moment he realized that the dew was not simply water, but the sky descending to meet the earth, a miracle offered without cost or ceremony. In that realization, you glimpse the teaching of gratitude. Every breath is a gift, born of countless conditions, converging from distant stars to hidden roots, and to receive it fully is to honor the sacred in the ordinary. As you inhale now, let gratitude rise in your chest like a gentle tide, filling every corner with warm light. As you exhale, send that gratitude outward to the life that sustains you, the air, the stones, the whispering pines beyond the cavern's veil. Notice how this simple exchange dissolves any sense of separation, revealing the seamless flow between giver and gift. Outside, a lone deer pauses at the forest's edge, nostrils quivering as it tastes the dawn air. In its alert stillness, you perceive the teaching of presence. The deer neither clings to comfort nor flees from vulnerability. It stands wholly in the moment, fully alive to the world's offerings and risks alike. You too can stand in this space of equanimity, attentive to each sensation, yet free from attachment embracing the unfolding tapestry of life with both courage and ease. Now draw your awareness to the subtle rhythm of your heartbeat, a quiet drum that echoes through bone and sinew, a testament to the intricate dance of life coursing through you. With each beat, feel the pulse of interconnection, the rhythmic arrival of blood nourished by roots and rain, the silent messages carried by nerves, the warmth kindled by compassionate intention. In that rhythm lies the teaching of basic goodness beneath every layer of doubt, behind every pulse of fear. There is an innate resonance of life that pulses with inherent worth and compassion. Invite your heart to rest in that knowing. With each breath, allow the basic goodness within you to shine more brightly, softening any shadows cast by self-judgment. Notice how your whole being opens in response, as though the cavern itself breathes in unison, with you expanding its vaulted space to welcome each flicker of awareness. As the morning light grows stronger, coloring the grotto in hues of gold and rose, you sense a gentle invitation to rise, not from the bed of stillness you inhabit, but to step forward into the world with the same mindful grace that has guided you here. Yet even as movement beckons, know that the sanctuary you have discovered is not lost. It lives within the cadence of your breath, the rhythm of your heart, the luminous clarity of each present moment. And so you rest a while longer in this final hush of dawn, letting the intertwined teachings of gratitude, presence, equanimity, and compassion settle into the marrow of your being. When you finally rise, you carry the grotto's hush within you, a hidden sanctuary of calm that endures beyond walls and stones, reminding you always that the pathless path of presence is but a single breath away. A soft radiance unfurls as you sense the first warmth of sunlight rippling through the grotto's opening, painting the cavern's walls in delicate strokes of amber and rose. You lie still, immersed in the luminous hush, feeling the gentle expansion of your chest as breath and light intertwine in silent celebration. In this merging lies the teaching of unity form and radiant stone, and air, self, and world converge into a single field of luminous presence. Imagine a great tree planted at the grotto's threshold, its roots delving deep into hidden springs, while its canopy reaches toward the sky. Each dawn dew beads on its leaves like countless tiny lanterns reflecting the morning's promise. Over centuries, its trunk has grown gnarled and wise, bearing the stories of wind and rain and sun. In that tree, you perceive the teaching of growth through time, steadfast, yet ever renewing each ring, marking both the trials endured and the nourishment received. You, too, are shaped by countless moments, your own rings of experience layered with resilience and grace. As you inhale, now draw in the tree's steady rootedness, feeling its strength anchor your own spine. As you exhale, send your spirit soaring into its branches, open to possibility and light. Notice how this exchange grounds you deeply, while expanding your awareness into the boundless sky of potential. Outside, the cavern's pool begins to shimmer with the early rays, and you catch sight of darting fish gliding beneath the surface, their silver forms weaving patterns of quiet energy. In their graceful movement lies the teaching of flow. Each fish moves with purpose, yet without struggle, adapting to currents and caressing each stone in its path. you too can meet life's currents with gentle intention, trusting your own natural navigation, gliding through challenges with fluid ease. Recall the story of the wandering monk who carried no maps, guided only by the sun's arc and the river's course. When asked how he always found his way, he simply replied, "I follow the world's own guidance, wind, water, and star, trusting that the path reveals itself." In that trust, you glimpse the teaching of living by intuition. The world speaks in subtle signs. And when you listen with an open heart, every moment becomes a guidepost on the journey. As you breathe, tune into the world's whispers, the rustle of leaves beyond the grotto, the distant twitter of waking birds, the slow drip of water feeding moss and stone. Each sound is an invitation to deeper listening, each pause a threshold into silence. What wisdom surfaces? When you rest in that attentive stillness, a gentle breeze stirs the surface of the pool, sending ripples that dance across the reflected light, creating a living mosaic of movement and stillness. In that interplay, you perceive the teaching of impermanence. Every pattern arises, changes, and dissolves, yet the pool's depths remain calm and constant. You too can ride life's surface waves without losing contact with the quiet depths within. Invite your attention inward once more to the subtle beating of your heart, the echo of ancient rhythms pulsing in harmony with the earth's own cycles. Feel how each heartbeat resonates with the living world, a sacred drum linking you to every creature, every stone, every breath of wind. In that resonance lies the teaching of interconnection. You are not alone, but an integral note in the symphony of life. Now, in this final hush, before the world fully awakens, bring to mind the simple question: what remains when all stories fall away? Rest in the space that answers itself, where thought dissolves into clear presence, where breath is action, and awareness is prayer. Here you discover the essence that transcends every form, a luminous emptiness that holds all possibilities, a sanctuary untouched by time. As the sun climbs higher, illuminating every corner of the grotto in warm embrace, you sense a gentle stirring within, a quiet invitation to rise, to carry this sanctuary beyond stone and shadow into the unfolding day. Yet even as movement beckons, know that you carry this luminous refuge in the cadence of your breath, the rhythm of your heartbeat, the silent field of awareness that abides within. And so, as you prepare to step beyond the grotto's threshold, take with you the teachings of unity, growth flow, trust impermanence, and luminous emptiness. Let each inhale renew your rootedness, each exhale free your spirit to dance. Let every step echo the silent refrain of presence that has guided you here. For in the simple act of being fully here, breathing, listening, opening, you carry the infinite calm of the grotto's heart into every moment, every place, every breath yet to come. A hush more profound than any you have known settles into the cavern, as if time itself has paused to listen. You rest here suspended between breath and dawn, feeling the tender interplay of your inhalation cool like mountain air, and your exhalation warm like sun-warmed stone. In this delicate balance lies the teaching of harmony. Two currents opposing yet complementary merge into the single river of presence. You are both river and bank's flow, and stillness indivisible in the seamless tapestry of now. Imagine ancient stalactites hanging from the cavern roof, each one formed droplet by droplet over untold ages. Their pointed tips glisten in the morning light, resonating with the memory of every particle of water that traced its path downward. In their patient formation, you perceive the teaching of gradual transformation. Every moment of practice, no matter how small, contributes to the slow carving of true self, steady, imperceptible, yet unstoppable over time. You too are under construction by each breath, each moment of attention, each act of kindness. As you inhale, feel your own depths, filling cell by cell with quiet awareness. As you exhale, sense the release of anything that no longer serves your peace, returning to the earth like spent water absorbed into stone. Notice how, with each cycle, the contours of your mind become more refined, more spacious, more luminous. Outside the grotto, a gentle wind stirs the canopy of pines above, sending a cascade of soft needles to carpet the forest floor. In that silent shower lies the teaching of surrender. Needles release without fear, trusting the ground to receive them. You too can let go of burdens, stories, and fears, trusting the vast earth of awareness to hold and transmute them into nourishment for new growth. Recall the story of the sculptor who carved a statue that remained hidden for years until one day the marble itself cracked away to reveal the figure within. The sculptor needed only to remove what did not belong, never imposing shape, but allowing form to emerge from its own essence. In that insight, you glimpse the heart of practice, remove the non-essential distraction, judgment, attachment, and witness the innate beauty that has always been there. Inhale now the cavern's cool stillness. Exhale any final fragments of tension, watching them dissolve into the silent air. Feel the cavern's walls rock ancient and unwavering, mirroring your own inner steadiness, while the light dancing on its surfaces reflects your mind's growing clarity. A single beam of sunlight pierces the roof, illuminating a cluster of small crystals embedded in the stone. They sparkle like stars caught in rock, brilliant, momentary, eternal. In their flicker, you perceive the teaching of impermanence and brilliance intertwined. Each crystal's flash is transient, yet the stone that holds it endures. You too hold within you sparks of insight, brief jewels of awareness, and an underlying depth of being that remains constant amid every fluctuation of mood or thought. Invite your awareness into that duality, celebrate each fleeting insight, each moment of wonder, and rest equally in the spacious ground that never changes. What remains when the light dims, the wind stills, and every sparkle vanishes? In that silent question, you touch the timeless core of the self, empty, boundless, radiant. Now bring to mind the image of a simple wooden door at the cavern's mouth. It stands slightly ajar, the threshold between sanctuary and world. Beyond lies a landscape, waking to dawn, the grove of pines, the dew-laden meadows, the winding paths of mist. In that doorway lies the teaching of choice. You can remain in refuge or step into the day with awareness, carrying the grotto's calm into action. The power lies not in the door, but in your willingness to walk through it mindfully, each footfall an echo of your inner stillness. Rest here a moment longer, breathing deeply, letting the depth of the grotto merge with the vastness of the world beyond. Feel how the sanctuary within expands outward until the boundary between inside and outside dissolves into one continuous field of presence. And as you finally rise, let your first step be a silent bow to the grotto's heart, the breath that sustained you, the stones that held you, the light that guided you. Carry this bow in your waking life, a moment of gratitude before every action, remembering that every breath is an altar and every step a sacred offering. In this way, the sanctuary you discovered in stillness becomes the temple of your everyday life, ever open, ever present, ever guiding you home. A gentle hush surrounds you once more as the cavern's ancient stones absorb the first full sunrise, and you rest in the afterglow of stillness, your breath a quiet metronome marking the passage of light into day. In this tender pause lies the teaching of integration. The sanctuary within and the world without are not two separate realms, but one seamless expression of presence. You are both grotto and grovestone, and sky inner calm and outer life intertwined in a single living tapestry. Imagine the path that leads from the grotto winding through a cathedral of pines, their trunks stretching skyward like silent pillars supporting the dome of dawn. Each step upon the needle-strewn earth feels both grounding and uplifting, as if the forest floor itself is guiding you forward. In that guidance, you perceive the teaching of right action, move through the world with awareness, letting each footfall honor the living ground beneath you. You need not force your journey. The path unfolds beneath your attentive feet. Recall the story of the master who, upon leaving his mountain hermitage, carried nothing but a straw broom. When asked why, he replied, "To sweep the path before me, so that every moment is as fresh and clear as this one." In that simple act of sweeping clearing leaves stones and doubts. You glimpse the heart of practice continually renew your attention, clearing the mind's clutter so that each moment shines with fresh possibility. As you inhale, feel your lungs fill with pine-scented air. As you exhale, imagine sweeping away residue of past and future, leaving your awareness unburdened and free. Notice how this subtle ceremony transforms a solitary breath into an offering. Each inhalation, a gathering of life's essence. Each exhalation, a release into the web of all that is. Outside the grove, you hear the distant murmur of a village waking rooster, calls the creak of an old gate, the soft patter of footsteps on cobblestone. In this chorus of human life lies the teaching of compassion. Every being carries their own dawn, within a struggle, a hope, a tender story. You too are part of that human tapestry. Your calm presence can offer a silent gift of peace to all you meet. Imagine offering your own breath as a silent blessing to every passerby, the shopkeeper preparing his stall, the child rubbing sleepy eyes, the elder carrying water. In that blessing, you discover the teaching of limitless care. Compassion knows no distance, no barrier. It flows as naturally as breath nourishing all in its path. Now bring to mind the image of a worn stone bridge arching over a gentle stream. Moss and lichen drape its sides, testaments to years of wind and rain, sun and snow. Despite its age, the bridge stands firm, carrying travelers safely across the shifting water. In that durability, you perceive the teaching of balanced strength. True support is neither rigid nor frail, but flexible enough to yield and strong enough to endure. You too can be that bridge solidity in the midst of change, kindness, unwavering amid life's currents. As you continue to breathe mindfully, feel the bridge's resilience in your spine, tall yet supple, rooted yet open. With each inhale, draw in the quiet fortitude of age and lesson. With each exhale, release any brittle resistance, letting your body soften into steady strength. Above you, the sky unfurls in a panorama of gold and cerulean, and a hawk wheels in slow circles, its keen eyes surveying the world below. In its flight, you perceive the teaching of perspective from heights unseen. The contours of every valley and peak come into view, revealing connections that are hidden at ground level. You too can lift your awareness, rising above narrow concerns, to see the broader patterns of your own life and the lives of others, finding guidance in the interweaving of all paths. Invite your mind to expand, with the hawk's wingspan soaring above, worries to view them from a wider vantage. What insights emerge when you perceive your challenges not as isolated storms, but as weather within a larger landscape? In that seeing, you find both clarity and compassion for yourself and for the myriad beings carried on life's currents. As the morning matures and the day's work begins to stir, rest in this final teaching, to return again and again to the breath that bridges inner sanctuary and outer world, transforming every moment into a living ceremony of presence. And when you finally step beyond the grove and onto the day's myriad paths, carry this bridge of mindful breath in your heart, a silent vow that no matter how far you roam the sanctuary of calm, is always but a single breath away. A gentle hush settles over your awareness as the first full light of morning spreads its warmth through every crevice of your being. You remain wrapped in the afterglow of the grotto's sanctuary, feeling the steady rise and fall of your breath, as if each inhalation draws in the world's compassion, and every exhalation releases the last threads of tension. In this soft stillness, you recognize that true rest is not an escape, but a return, a homecoming to the unshakable heart that has been with you through every season of life. Imagine the path you have traveled through shadowed caverns, mossy groves, and dawn-lit meadows, all reflected now in the clear pool of your mind. Each step, each breath, each moment of mindful attention has carved the contours of this inner refuge, shaping it into a haven that carries the echoes of birdsong, the scent of jasmine, and the memory of the heron's cry. You realize that this sanctuary is not distant or separate, but alive within every cell, ready to be revived with a single breath. As you breathe, feel the subtle expansion of compassion in your chest, a warming glow that reaches outward, touching the lives of all who share this moment. With each inhale, draw in the resilience of the ancient stones. With each exhale, let flow the kindness of dew-dripped leaves. Notice how your presence becomes a living bridge between silence and song solitude, and community form and emptiness. Now gather the threads of every teaching you have encountered, the grace of impermanence, the power of surrender, the dance of effort, and ease the unity of self and world, and weave them into the fabric of your daily life. Know that challenges may arise, but within you lies an ever-accessible core of calm, luminous, and vast, unaffected by storms. This core is your true strength, your resting place beyond thought, beyond form. Rest here a moment longer, letting the tapestry of dawn and dusk settle into your bones. And when the world calls you forth, carry this peace as a living flame, steady, gentle, and unwavering, guiding you through every breath, every step, every unfolding moment. And if you're still awake, that's okay too. Some nights, just lying still and breathing softly is enough to return home to yourself.